The final qualifier is here, and it is time to kick it off on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. I am Sov Dan. I'm here with the incredible Neptune to bring you all of these sights and sounds in Neptune. We are going to start it off here in Division 4. We've got the Meme Machine coming up against Ferris Splatoon.
Yeah, for sure. So if I'm remembering this correctly, yes, it says in the bottom left right there, the Meme Machine is representative of George Mason University from Virginia. Yes. And then I believe Ferris Splatoon, quite literally in the name, Ferris State University here. So I believe that's Minnesota? Is that correct? Am I?
I feel like that's correct. I feel like that's where I've heard that from. But the Meme Machine actually is kind of one of those ones that I've seen in previous qualifiers, and they've had some interesting kind of ups and downs for a lot of this. So this is their real last chance. You know, their last couple qualifiers, they've been just short of top 4. So they're really looking. This is their last chance to try to get those points here in round 1.
Yeah, for sure. Just round 1 is definitely like how you start off the day, and if you're looking to break through the milestones or perhaps win the entire qualifier in general, definitely able to just start it off and just be able to go, just run the mile, right? It's a marathon, so you can't just, how do I say, go through all just the games going just crazy at the beginning when you need to watch your stamina, find your way forward here. And I believe the first matchup is going to be starting on, I believe, Urchin Underpass. Okay, yes. I still need to get used to seeing this here because it's still a relatively new map, even though it's been out for a couple of months now. But, you know, we are going to be starting on the traditional splat zones right here, but I'm going to be curious to see what they bring into this map mode here, because I feel like Urchin allows a lot of non-traditional weapons to thrive as well as the usual ones.
Yeah, I think the one that stood out to me is a lot of the times we see kind of the cooler player kind of end up looking to something a little bit a smaller range. So you see kind of things like the new Gallon pop up, or you see things like the like a couple like the blaster, like, you know, you see some of those odd options, and like you said, it's not one that everybody wants to play, but it does kind of force these teams to really be flexible. In game 2, which we will see, is Barnacle and Dime, and down the road we will get a tower control. It is a play all 3, but we kick it off here on Underpass, and I'm with you, Neptune. This is going to be, I think, kind of the outlier, I think, of the set.
Oh yeah, this is definitely the outlier here, because oftentimes I feel like the other map modes are a little bit more traditional, what we see, but Zone's Urchin is definitely not only shaking up the comp, but also kind of shaking up like how you typically approach a map, because typically a lot of Splatoon 3's maps, they're a lot more straightforward. There is a very obvious way to get to the goal or like score points on the objective, but here, it feels like you're a little bit more open. You have the right side, which has a lot of like drop and committable areas, while the left-hand side has a lot of high ground, and just a matter of how these teams get into it here as well. We are going to be starting this off here. The Meme Machine is going to be in the bright yellow, while the Ferris Splatoon is going to be in blue here. So let's get this started here, Sov.
There we are. Like you said, a couple of those smaller picks. I do see the Zap coming out, and I do see the Splatling in the back line there. Flop kind of has it really cut out for him in a hard spot. Same with Manny. Like, there's a couple of really hard spots because this is kind of a smaller map to control.
Yeah, for sure. It's a smaller map, and you have a small zone as well, so it's going to be very scrappy to get things started up here. But it does seem like we do have a little bit of a scrap here for the zone, with Flop immediately looking for a pick, manages to find one already and get another beautiful start here for a Ferris Splatoon here. So
huge ups from Flops there, just coming up and doing their part. But now Octo trying to push the front lead, now going the way of Ferris Splatoon. Now they have to hold this pit as hard as they can. Sandwich is going to go ahead, drop that bubble, try to get themselves in, and pressure onto Manny, just try to poke their way through everything. Huge one goes wide and does flip the zone back into neutral, but no real picks coming through. A couple bombs being traded, but again, just everybody playing a little bit safe. The Zuka from Yufa coming out there. They give their life for it. Stamper comes through, and Raz is there to help pick it through. Still just continuing to trade as we hit the 4-meter mark, 80, and climbing down for the Meme Machine.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely trying to get some points on the board right here, but it's only of the first minute of the game, and we're having a pretty dynamic back and forth between these two teams. One gets an advantage, one gets a lucky bomb pick like Yufa right here, and is looking to push the advantage just a little bit further here. Beautiful shots coming out here, but how much further can you go, especially with the crabs being contested? But you do have a bubble in response, and now it's going to look like GMU is going to be the one taking the lead right here.
Ferris looking to push back in. A great shot from Yufa. Catches the Octo out there. They maintain control here, burning through the limited left of the penalty now. Down and taking back in the lead at the 3-minute mark. Cooler already committed for the Meme Machine. And now they're going to take the space on it here as Octo try to push back in, but can't quite get any pressure down. They'll give the crab in, and that's going to be the cue for the Meme Machine to get out of the way for now. Still just pressuring in though. Crab's running out, and the Ferris Splatoon pushing back in full force. Another backup crab is there. It's looking like a whole red lobster as they try to clean up. A pick goes down, and that is a good pick for now. It stops the Meme Machine at 23, and they get control for now. Ferris Splatoon a long way to go.
Yeah, for sure. And I gotta give my flowers here to the members of GMU, consistently keeping up the pressure right here. But it seems like Ferris Splatoon members are not ready, how do I say it, to be able to commit to this. But beautiful picks coming out here for the edit, getting amazing picks right here, allowing their team to walk forward here as well as putting up that paint right here. But I do think I see Raz going for this flank real quick. Let's see how they're able to do with it, so.
Yeah, that sploosh with the hammer going to be very dangerous. I love how quickly it could just take it, hammering their way in, trying to actually clean up. Doesn't get the pick onto Octo, but it does what it needs to do. They lose control briefly of the point, but get it back right away, enough to get the penalty onto them. 50 now in the penalty, but it's 3 down for the Meme Machine, which means Ferris will take it right back, and they are climbing through their own penalty. 33-23 here with 2 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, for sure. Just getting set up right there, those picks on mid is going to be absolutely huge. You get a little bit of time to stall right here, and it's Rosie with the Octo Brush, trying to play very carefully and methodically to catch any members of GMU, looking to push up here as well. We do hear Zuka come out as well, and the other members are trying to find a way to respond to it, but how much further can they hold this zone, especially when their members are going down here, so...
Cooler giving up from the Meme Machine side, which means they're committing into this push in addition to the bubble. Crab comes out from the side of Ferris Splatoon, but it's not enough to do it. Raz is just going to go ahead and just try to immediately squish him right out of the way. A good use for that hammer, and Raz with this aggressive sploosh here eventually gets punished. 23 and still burning through what's left of their penalty. Ferris Splatoon now on their way back in, has to avoid the bomb, but they have the slight numbers advantage. They see the 3v1, and they're trying to push out the rest of the way, but they get control of the point, stop it where it needs to do. They give their life for it. It's 3 down for Ferris Splatoon now in the Meme Machine. Trade out to even, but it's still in control of the Meme Machine. They are looking to close this out here in the last minute.
Yeah, for sure. Last minute right here. You need to find a way forward if you are Ferris right here. You can still get a lot of good pressure, but you gotta be careful, especially with these bombs right here. I just feel like the members of GMU are doing such a great job of consistently breaking their way forward and just shutting it down. But hey, flew up constantly, using the AoE to their advantage. Just being able to spill their heart out onto zone as well, but unfortunately it's not going to be enough here. We do have rain going out and the bubble on zone, but can you be able to cap right here? You need something to be able to stop the cap, but 3, 2, 1. Oh, no. It still doesn't. Wait,
in the last second they need to flip.
Oh, no. So close, yet so far. That was incredible game, honestly. That was very close for both sides there. Yeah, just I saw the Meme Machine consistently put up pressure as appropriate. We saw the bubbles go on zone, Raz going for flanks, and Yufa getting really good bomb picks, as well as using that Zuka to their utmost potential right there. And that's what's causing them to be able to just snowball, essentially. We did see the other members as well. I believe it was Flop on that Tri-Slosher, as well as, I believe, Rosie on the Octobrush right there. Yeah, just those both those sharking weapons, essentially being able to just cover their ledges and allow their team to be able to punish the members of GMU coming forward right there is absolutely huge in keeping them in this here. But remember, so this is a play all 3 here in the Swiss stage, so it's gonna come down to even if you do get this game win here, if you're GMU, you still have to play all 3 games here. But next up, Planet Blitz on Barnacle and Dime here. What can you tell me?
And I do think the good thing for Ferris Splatoon going into Barnacle and Dime here is that your front line is very strong, like you illustrated. Like your front line is very capable of winning duels. They're very capable of playing their positions well. I think it's just you need to make sure you are set up and not maybe greeting a little too hard. So I think if you're Ferris Splatoon, you don't feel bad, like you said, about losing that. That was very, very close. I think it's just now just getting those kind of first round jitters out of the way and then buckling down, because this is a mode that can favor you if you are playing aggressive. You need to be playing aggressive to make sure you are controlling the clam economy, to make sure you have the space to go in. And then you also need the teamwork to get those pushes successful, which around this division, you know, sometimes that teamwork doesn't necessarily click as much as we might see. But for a team like Ferris Splatoon, who we saw a lot of great kind of team ups, a lot of great 2v1s, and a lot of great spatial awareness, this might be their chance to strike back.
Yeah, for sure. Just definitely an opportunity for both teams here to either close it out or bring bring it up to a tiebreaker essentially as well. But I do think GMU's front line is extremely strong, like you were saying earlier. Just they're very confident in walking forward with their specials as well as their main weapons. I just think Ferris Splatoon has a little bit of a situation where I feel like they get a little bit frantic or a little bit overeager to click their specials. Like I saw, I think 2 crabs come out at the same time right there.
Yeah.
Typically speaking, like when you're sequencing your specials, right, you typically want to chain them in a sense of, okay, the first crab's going to go out to get more space, so the other crab should be able to either continue what the first crab was trying to do or be able to just set up a little bit further. However, it feels like we're just clicking specials for hoping we can get a little bit more when clicking more at the same time, but that's just not how the cookie crumbles sometimes here. But it does seem like we do have, I believe, a sub on the side of GMU. It's going to be Amsty coming in here. What do they play? Amsty, I'm looking. I don't see them here, huh?
I don't see them on. I guess I don't see them here. That might be a different name for somebody. We saw Sandwich. We saw Yufa.
Okay,
Texas
so
7, maybe Texas 7.
Yeah, Texas 7. Okay.
No, okay.
Okay. Raz is being subbed out, so there probably won't be a sploosh coming out here as well. So knowing that information, I think it's gonna be. They're gonna be. How do I say? They don't want a more rat-like weapon on Clambless, which is honestly very surprising, because I feel like stuff like Inkbrush, Sploosh, just very mobile, high mobility weapons, you want them to be able to just pick up clams and create more chaos and thrive off that. Perhaps GMU is opting for something that is more traditional, for more control, more stability, something that's a bit more consistent, and that's very understandable. You know, this is kind of like the beauty of being able to sub in players for certain map modes, because if you have a player that's really good at, say, Urchin, right, like Raz was doing with the hammer, getting the consistent picks on the crabs, then it's a perfect opportunity to bring them in there. And then when the situation calls for it, okay, this map is not good for a sploosh, we can just trade you out, tag you back in as necessary, which I think is just great teamwork all around, especially for a collegiate scene where, how do I say it, not everyone has the availability, but if you do have the availability, you are able to play it out here, and we're going to get started with game number 2 here, Sov.
Yeah, we'll see if the Meme Machine subs continues their success, see how deep this roster goes. Texas 7 there on the top is our new player, and we'll see what they bring in.
Ooh, is that the sword?
So they're gonna... Yeah, and that was the sword there also. So that's the new sword coming in from Sandwich. So we'll have to see what that Booyah Bomb brings with that Auto Bomb. I do actually really like the Auto Bomb there as the pick.
Yeah, for sure. Auto Bomb's always, I feel like, an underrated tool, being able to help stop sharking weapons, or at least being able to help find that out as well. But it does seem like it's going to be a bit of a scrap in neutral here, where Ferris is a little bit on the backhand as GMU slowly creeps their way forward with their paint.
Yeah, slowly giving up that space here. Ferris Splatoon just kind of relinquishing. One goes down, and the Rosie's there to try to pick up the claims. Left 2 down, trades on either side, as Damacy just goes ahead and tries to push in. The Bloblobber there just barraging their way in. They'll give up a little bit of space for now, but this will be the first special. The Whale is out, catches 1 on the side for Ferris, so they'll get a little bit more of the claim control here as a power claim is up. Octo holding onto it for now, just now waiting for the rest of those specials to come into play as they get control of mid.
Yeah, for sure. I like holding onto this bubble here for a situation where perhaps you want to play a bit more aggressive later with your team when there's other specials coming out. We do see the cooler getting out, so this isn't time to make something happen here. We do have a pick on GMU as well, and we do have another power clam formed. Oh my goodness, the Rapid getting a beautiful pick right there, and now allowing their team to walk forward even further here, so.
They get met by the Booyah Bomb, though, and that does stop Rosie from getting the one in. Octo gets the first in, gets the second in as well, so that is a huge jump in the points now. 57 and counting down. 54 from the additional from Ferris Splatoon, striking back after that tough game 1 here. They'll get stopped at 54, so a great opening statement here in Clam Blitz.
Yeah, for sure. Great opening statement. Normally, the mark of a good clam push is, at least for starters, right, is something that's over 60, but it just seems like Ferris is able to just do a little bit more extra right here, putting their opponents a bit more on the back foot and allowing them to, hey, you're going to need a lot of clams to be able to retake that lead, because at the end of the day, whoever has the lead is going to be able to win. Doesn't matter how many points you score.
Yeah, as I say, when that time runs out, it's all about who's got the most claims. Right now, the Meme Machine kind of stuck here. They committed Cooler, but there's not much into it. Octo pokes their way up, gives a little space, but they're going to be met by a bunch of bombs, and Meme Machine, the GMs just can't quite get out of the way. Yet another power claim there is made on the side of Ferris, but oh man, that's 2 beautiful shots from the side of Yufa that clears them up to get those claims in their control. They push in, and they'll get the last 2, stop that power claim, and this is about time. If they can collect a claim here, they're actually good to just get a basket.
Yeah, for sure. Beautiful quad there from Yufa, being able to not only lead their team forward, but get 2 power clams in. And now we're going to see potentially a lead swap, which they do here, which is absolutely huge for GMU. So an equally large push is basically responded to with something that's even larger here as well, and going to allow them to be able to keep going forward here. Sandwich looking for one more. They're still hungry, and they're still trying to go further, all the way down to 39. So that was a beautiful push.
That was, yeah. I mean, that's the joy, right? Is like once you get the push in, you have the basket open. Once you start winning those duels and you can win in the franticness, you just kind of cement it. But with 2 minutes on the clock, it's still fairly open. You know, there's only a power clam of penalty between both. So this next push is really going to, I think, kind of decide us who's the winner. Ferris needs about, what, 40 points if they even want to contest this, but right now they don't even have, they're just getting 1 clam made here as Damacy going to go ahead and just pressure out from those bubbles, looking to try to make a stop. No pick yet, and the whale coming out from Ferris Splatoon catches, just goes a little bit of space away from the coolers, now out on both sides. No one really able to go. A great shot from the Zuka catches too. The Meme Machine, they are a full running machine as Yufa going to go ahead and lead the charge back in. Booyah Bomb is there to set up and clear the space on the point. Just waiting for the last bit of clams, last bit. Booyah Bomb lands, and it does stop. Yufa can't quite push in as the reinforcements are there, and they get punished for it. A successful shutdown from Ferris Splatoon.
Yeah, for sure. It just seems like every time Ferris seems like they're on the back foot, they do find some way to respond, and they are able to get back into mid right here, but a minute is left on the clock and needing to score roughly 40 points right here. You got a tall order to fill if you want to be able to swap the lead here, so.
Yeah, this is a lot to go in the last minute here. 45 seconds. Cooler out for now from Ferris Splatoon. So all 4 of the Meme Machine, they are holding this choke. They're trying to get anything they can. That'll be a Zuka. Shots go a little bit wide. Can't quite get through here. And Octo going to go ahead and chase the kill. Does manage just to win it, and they'll pick up the claims as the reward. They have the jump in, and they're going to go ahead and set the bubble down for the jump. But is the rest of the team there? They're going to get met by the members of the Meme Machine. Whale now for Meme Enough. Does catch 2, but they give their life for it. And now with the power claim down, someone has to go in and get it. Flop holding on to the sandwich, the last line of defense now, trying to put this down. They're gonna get met by the brush. There's a trade, which means Flop will get that in, but is there anything to follow up? No, they give their life to get that rest, and there's still 3 on the penalty. Now it's gone, 54 and counting with the last 5 seconds. Is anybody there to put any more in? No, the Meme Machine will get the stop in overtime, which means that even with the clam up, there's still a little bit more. No, it's over. Meme Machine, a great stop to the end of that, and a great victory winning this.
Yeah, for sure. And Ferris Splatoon had such a great, game plan, essentially. Put that bubble right underneath the basket, so you should be able to jump right in. However, it felt like the Rapid was a little bit, out of sync. Just they were just a little overwhelmed and occupied with what they were doing, and they did manage to get the double right there, and just that was really good. However, it just feels like that little bit of a desync, a little bit off that timing right there with the plan of the bubble coming up and being able to jump to it to be able to score more clams. It just got, unfortunately, that time window came in left, and GMU was able to successfully defend from that as well. So kudos to them being able to stop a play from happening after realizing the bubble got right underneath their basket.
Yeah, that is a huge ups from GMU. A well-deserved victory. But like you had said, Ferris, that was kind of what I wanted to see. I wanted to see them kind of put that teamwork together, and you could see it. You called it out. The pieces of the puzzle to getting that kind of set play is all there. It just unfortunately didn't quite come together. It is a play all 3 though. So there is one last shot at redemption for Ferris Splatoon. It will be everybody's least favorite map mode combination, I'm pretty sure. It will be Undertow Spillway and Tower.
Funny that you mentioned that, because I was like talking to other CCA staff members, and we're like, why is Undertow here? And then Mizuno, like, who's one of the lead TAs or TOs for like this entire organization, she just says this is an ugly map. Every time I see this, I just want to vomit or something like that. It's unironic fun right here, and you know what? It's like a greenhouse. You know, there's some sunflowers on the side, and like that's the only nice thing I can say visually speaking about this map. But I'm not here to rate these maps visually speaking. I'm here to break it down analytically and tell you guys what this map mode's all about. Generally speaking, on tower control, you have those 3 checkpoints right here. The first one's not too bad. It's in mid. The second one gets very dicey, as there's just a lot of high ground the enemy has to contest the second checkpoint right there. The third one is typically gotten from a momentum swing from the second checkpoint as well, but I think this does give players options as well. I think it's just a matter of being at the right place at the right time to just prevent the typical tower control snowballs that you are oh so used to seeing here, Sov.
Yeah, I think you kind of nailed it, and particularly that third checkpoint is really kind of the most difficult one for a lot of teams that don't necessarily have, you know, kind of a set plan, or are maybe waiting and trying to live off of the moment to really succeed. So we'll see which of these teams has the kind of, you know, the kind of mental, because we've talked about how scrappy this is, how very back and forth it's been, and how a lot of these players have just been kind of playing on the moment to moment micro decisions. So this may come down to that one last time, and for the Meme Machine, who have been kind of struggling to kind of really break into the tops of this Division 4 in these qualifiers, like a 3-0 here would be huge for them.
Oh yeah, for sure. A 3-0 can just kind of like set your day, like for the just like it's the right step for the start of the day is essentially how I like to call it right there as well. And being able to just cleanly 3-0 it as well. However, if I'm Ferris right here, I'm fiending. I want to see an upset. I want to prove to GMU that, hey, those last 2 games, they were close, but we should be able to close out this next one right here. And another thing I want to talk about GMU's comp switch right there. So I believe it was Emetsi as well. Yeah, it was Emetsi subbing in for, I believe it was Raz as well. So you went from a Sploosh player to a Blob player who was just able to lock down just certain lanes on Barnacle and Dime and provide range to just prevent the enemy team from moving up right there. So I'm curious to see, are they going to keep the Blobber here? Because if they do keep Blob, then I feel like it's going to be a little bit trickier on tower control, especially when you don't have anything to really directly hit the tower besides those Blobber shots.
Yeah, we'll see. We've been kept on our toes from both of these teams, but here in Game 3 of our first set, we'll see what stays. The Blobber's live, so they feel confident enough in it. And on Ferris, well, they're going to bring in a Stringer. A little bit of extra backline pressure here in addition to the Blaster coming in.
Yeah, for sure. You know, blasters on tower control, it's like bread and butter right here. You gotta bring a blaster right here to be able to contest the tower, or whoever's riding it, as well as the areas around it here as well. And I can definitely see why you would pick this if you're Ferris right here. But if we already see this, a lot of the map's covered in GMU's favor right now, and they're looking to see what they can do to start a push as well. We do have the Stringer putting out a lot of pressure and being kind of an anchor for this team as well. So I'm curious to see how things will go here, Sov.
Yeah, it's still a slow start it's still in the center. No cart movement so far, but Special's now online, and the first pick there goes the way of the Meme Machine. GMU, go ahead and find one. They lose one back now, and they'll start committing Specials into it. That's a Booyah Bomb coming in into the Meme Machine. They clear off the high ground, and that's enough to kind of maybe put a little bit of pressure, but Rosie is there. Eventually gets punished for taking a step too far. Shot from Yufa. Looking for that Zuka. No, eventually gets picked down for it, and they're going to send, Manny's going to go ahead and just send into the Octo as well. So, I mean, Special's committed in maybe a bit later, trying to chase these kills to no avail. Eventually gets punished for it. Just kind of feels like a little unfortunate step, but Ferris Splatoon, they will get the cart moving just a little bit, just enough to take the lead.
Just enough to take the lead right here. I like to talk about how no one's gotten to the first checkpoint yet. It's been a minute and a half. These teams are really respecting each other here for their space as well, and they're looking to see what inches they can take before they start taking a mile here as well. And I think GMU is going to start putting up momentum right here with Yufa getting an amazing pick right there as well. But it seems like it's scrap for scrap, pick for pick, Zuka for Zuka. Oh my goodness, Yufa! Beautiful Zuka shots to be able to secure perhaps a push here for your team, but it's not enough here, so.
That's insane. That's 2 for 3 on the Zuka and still not able to move it. The Whale, is again, just pushes back, and Ferris Splatoon, again, just the seesaw teeters a little bit more. Finally, the Meme Machine, they get it to the checkpoint. Now in control, they'll try to fight their way through it with a numbers advantage. Booyah Bomb out to buy the rest of it, and they finally break past checkpoint 1, and finally we can get on with the game here, Neptune.
Yeah, for sure. The game is now started here. Ball is in GMU's court right here. They're getting a lot of specials due to the passive pistol charge of the tower here as well, continuing to keep more picks up here. It's just going to be mainly Octo on the bow, pretending to stop this tower here, but it's just not enough here. You're only getting the chip damage, not getting the picks right here, and slowly but surely GMU's at this final checkpoint here, so...
Yeah, they are already at the end of it, and they have just kind of walked their way through. The rain continues to fall, and the Whales will continue to scream on, but there's no one on cart, which means that the cart will start to move its way back. Flop gets control, and the 2 remaining members of the Meme Machine will get out of the way. Last bazooka shot comes through, and Flop has to give the space here. 13 for the Meme Machine remain, and that is a phenomenal push here. Under 2 minutes left. They'll commit cooler on the side of Ferris, and they're going to try to push a little bit more aggressively. Flop gets pushed back by that sword there and has to give out of the way. Manny just trying to, again, with that blaster, just trying to pressure out onto the tower here and move anything out of the way, but we're back to poking again and again, and that's an Octo commit immediately from Manny. They feel like they can make it, but they'll stop for there.
Yeah, for sure. It just feels like Ferris is having a little bit of a problem here trying to push up here as well, because we see a lot of specials being thrown and committed. However, the amount of space or picks just don't seem to be translating with the number that are coming out here as well. Rosie trying to force something on the tower right here, but immediately gets called out by the other GMU members here. We have 1 minute left in this game, and it seems like GMU is going to look to just stall out mid here like they did for the first part of the game.
Yeah, they have no reason to push, and Octo has to get pushed, but they get splatted out immediately, so the high ground now clear. Tower still sitting in the mid, and I mean, if Ferris finally getting the chance here to push it past that point, gets scared off by the bomb, and Ferris, they just, again, they're waiting for that right moment to go, and now that the high ground is contested again by the Meme Machine, they're just stuck here trying to get this push. Eventually, Flop will give their life for a little bit of progress, but Yufa again continues to pick another Zuka on them. Tries to go for the shot, jumps out of the way to avoid the Whale, but the trades still continue through. Long shot, misses, goes nice for now, but Yufa still continues to put the pressure down. Oh, a rogue bomb catches him out in Ferris Splatoon. 25 seconds, they will move the cart.
25 seconds remaining, but hey, 1 push is all you need to get to that. You don't necessarily need to clear that final checkpoint. You just need to clear enough points to be able to secure the lead right here. But hey, 10 seconds here. We're going to start overtime soon here as well. But Ferris needs to be able to keep this momentum here on the tower here as well.
The wipeout.
But the wipeout occurs right there, immediately stopping any chance of Ferris to be able to do it there. Kudos to GMU on the Meme Machine right there for putting up such a great defense, but wow, Ferris, you had something going there at the end, and I gotta give my hats off to you.
Yeah, I will say, you know, the 3-0 is definitely fair for GMU, but like Ferris, I can see how this team has so many good pieces of it. You can see just the moments of just things that work for them, but it's really hard when someone like Yufa on the side of the Meme Machine is just dominating your front line here between those Zuka shots, between just getting in there and being a distraction. It's so difficult to kind of run your set plays and not feel frazzled if you're Ferris Splatoon. So I'm not surprised to see that this is the outcome, but I will say that Ferris has plenty going for the future. They are definitely a team that can make an impact in this division.
Yeah, for sure. Both these teams, I think, can definitely make an impact on this division right here. It's just GMU, they started the day on the right foot right here, but there's still plenty of Splatoon to be played right here. And again, Yufa putting in the work with the Trizuka, just getting multiple picks and swinging the front line for their team to be able to go forward. That was just a beautiful quad right there on Barnacle, and just generally speaking, they're playing out of their minds that set. So let's see if they can carry that momentum forward here. So, but how do I describe it? There is still more Splatoon to be played, and we got a little bit of a break to come up here as well. So we'll catch you around, folks. We'll be seeing you guys with round 2 of the Swiss stage for CCA Qualifier 6 sometime soon. Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody. We are here for round 2 and jumping over into Division 5. We've got Heidelberg Esports coming off of a win versus the DePaul University SquidMotion studio, coming off a loss. And interesting point here for D5. Both of these teams having very, very good records over the rest of this. Heidelberg actually coming in and taking a second and a third in previous qualifiers. So Heidelberg already on a win, looking to cement their victory even further. DPU looking to try to swing the tides of fate.
Yeah, for sure. So both these teams right here obviously are competing in round 2, and they want to be able to secure some more points here for the Swiss stage, because that does help with your seed when you go into the bracket stage and get you more points for that delicious leaderboard right there, because this is technically the last qualifier, or at least traditional qualifier, because after this we will have a last chance qualifier here. So any teams that did not make the cut on either split half here as well will have another chance to go here. But hey, better to know it and have the safety and security of being able to qualify today rather than having to be at the last brink moment right there. But regardless of, we are going to be starting off here on, I believe, Manta Maria Rainmaker. Yes, that is going to be the first mode right here, and both these teams are actually already ready to rock and roll here. It's going to be a battle of Ohio versus Illinois here, so let's see which team's going to come out on top. And what's jumping out to you with these weapons here, Sov?
What's jumping out to me immediately is that we are -1 squid, so we will be going back to the old drawing board for it, as just kind of getting a quick look. I do think that Heidelberg's comp is just fascinating. I think I've seen weapons that I don't even think I see in ranked. I believe I see, what was that old terrorizing weapon from Splatoon 2? There was a couple interesting backlines. I think we saw the Pro there, the Forge Pro, I think that was.
Yeah, we saw the Frozen Pro, actually. That was the one with 10 missiles coming out there as well. Very strong special, especially on a map like Manta Maria, right, where it's very difficult to sometimes tell where players are, because the power of missiles is the ability to move people from positions as well as locate them as well. And being able to get any information on where people are on this map, especially when it's so large and people can come at from like basically any angle, I think that's going to be one of the more powerful specials as well. But something I want to talk about as well, the Octobrush is coming out, and it's not just any Octobrush, it's the Kraken Octobrush here coming out.
Ooh. Correct, Octobrush. All right, that is, as I say, a lot of unique weapons from the side of Heidelberg Esports. I feel like they're just bringing kind of a comp and like a lot of things that maybe you don't get the chance to scrim against. Maybe that's been a big key to their success, is what it feels like to me.
Yeah, for sure. Like, playing untraditional weapons, it's a double-edged sword. On one hand, you're playing things that not been fully tested, not fully understood, as have been known to be weaker in comparison to some of the more traditional weapons. Like, I think of S-Blast, I think of Slosher, I think of Decap and how successful those weapons are, right? Just on a common basis at all levels of play. But here, when you're being able to play in CCA and have that little bit of an edge case, right, to be able to catch your opponents off guard, not be familiar with how a particular weapon is played or how it utilizes its sub and its special as well, I think this can give an upper hand as well to be able to do it. So it does seem like these teams are back in the room and ready up here. So how are you feeling going into this match here?
I mean, I'm very curious to see what's going on. I thought we were just going to be a by the books kind of, we've seen this, we played through this all through Splatoon 2. I was like, surely there's nothing exciting going to be here. We're just going to go by the books, and whoever's team is going to kind of have more reps and more play is going to come on top. No, and Heidelberg are already flipping the script on what I imagine. So I'm very curious to see what our previous round winners are coming into, because like we kind of talked about, like, the choices they made make sense on paper. It's just very different and unique, and sometimes that enough is what it takes. Like, sometimes just that little bit of uncertainty is all it takes. So SquidMotion Studio kind of playing a little bit behind the 8 ball here to me.
Yeah, for sure. I can definitely see how playing a more unique style compared to everyone else as well, because how do you prepare for that, essentially? Well, we're used to yeah, you don't, exactly. You just don't. Like, even if you scrim or like you play some solo queue or whatever, you're not going to be ready for the amalgamation that some of these CCA teams could be cooking up here. So hopefully, all right,
back we go one last time.
Back we go one last time here as well. Just, I'm curious to see if these teams will play it out here, because I'm not sure on the ruling here as well. Yeah, it seems like they're gonna opt for, how do I say it? Are they playing this out? Are they gonna end?
No, okay. they're gonna end it. We're looking for the end.
Yeah, they're looking for the end there. Okay, well, you know what? I'll do them the favor here and put in the Gutton combination that no one tells you about. And I don't know how, like, this is essentially like I feel like I'm like opening up debug mode or something. Code. Yeah, it's a cheat code, right? Like, that should be able to do this here as well. Yeah, so I'm hoping they could do this one last time here, because I think we're a little bit over time as well. Game 1 might be taken after one more DC, I believe.
Yeah, there's going to be a little bit of time, one last shot at this, and I mean, at some point, it does kind of look to be like, you know, if you are going to play the man down, in theory, that's, you know, 25% of your team power gone. And considering from what we saw from the missing player team, I didn't see a cooler, so part of me is wondering, like, if that's your cooler player, then you're definitely just even further behind in a lot of ways. Like, you kind of might as well just be like, all right, let's just go next and take the time to get to you know, maybe build a dedicated server in Japan for this game to function as it should.
Dedicated servers, man. Okay, I was playing some Air Riders earlier, and I'm like sitting in the queue for like over like a minute, and I'm like, what is going on right here? And I'm just like, okay, maybe we need some dedicated server actions here, but could we also get some dedicated servers for Splatoon?
Okay.
But okay, it seems like everything is back in place, and we can rock and roll, so like how the game should be played.
Yeah, it was there. It turns out it was their cooler player. It will be matching back line of Splatlings there, holding that down. The roller is the interesting one. Is that a big swig?
That is a big swig indeed. It's rocking a torpedo.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's rocking a torpedo and a splashdown. And something people keep forgetting about the big swig is it has a lot of object damage, so it will be able to shred that Rainmaker to pieces and be able to continue a lot of momentum if given a chance to get that splashdown, as well as get anywhere near it here as well. But you can definitely see a lot of scrapping already here, and it looks like DPU is looking for a way to go forward here, so.
Yeah, Punk is just clearing the space, trying to make sure they can build up that special and trying to get the rest of the way. But both teams now down 1. I say that, and then it comes down 2 for Heidelberg, but they'll send in the rain to kind of balance out, as the Rainmaker didn't really get too far. Jamie goes ahead and gets 1 from that high ground, almost looking for the second there. Takes the duel and wins it, and Punk has to get out of dodge, meaning that Heidelberg, they basically have a free walk-up with Jamie patrolling this high ground and just defending here. Rainmaker finally into Heidelberg control. Bobby Gay gets stopped, though. Cooler comes out a bit later than expected. And once again, we are stuck back in center.
Yeah, for sure. I really like Jamie's positioning right there, being able to just walk forward with that edit right there. But hey, being able to break away for that first checkpoint right there, you're cooler. Might as well go for it as well and swing immediately. And it looks like Jamie's going to go for even more points here as well. A push down to 36 here already for Heidelberg here. And it's going to be already a very convincing start in the first minute and a half here, so.
Yeah, that is a very good push, considering that is, you know, once you get past that first point is kind of where you get jammed up here. So Punk still just trying to patrol and get this ink back. And as the rest of SquidMotion will try to push their way out, Bobby J kind of stuck in the back line here to sweep their way through. I don't think anybody's spouted them yet. Still trying to get the value. Yeah, Supernova didn't see it coming, and the cooler down front doesn't protect the rest of DPU here, as Bobby J just going to go ahead and back to front this as they slam this down. Good for 3. I don't even think the last player's around, so Bobby J just kind of sharked their way into success here as they'll push a little bit forward.
Yeah, for sure. Just a little bit of awkward movement right there, but you got what you came for there. You came for the 3 picks, coming up from behind that no one was able to catch right there. And it's giving a lot of opportunity right there as well. So we'll see how these players are going to be able to react accordingly here. But already 2 down right here, and Heidelberg is holding the Rainmaker and not able to push forward here.
Yeah, Isaac kind of stuck, has to dive out versus those whales, but those shots from the stringer is there. Now getting pressured out from the side there. Cooler down as well. Missiles a little too late after the death has already happened, but it's enough. Cooler gets popped for Heidelberg as well. So both teams now looking to play with that advantage, but the high ground advantage now sitting here with DPU as Jamie trying to contest back as the 3 on the high ground push through. Whale now from the side of SquidMotion will go ahead and push out a lot of that space here. Rainmaker does fall the way of DPU, and they'll try to get it. They get just around the corner. A little bit of an aerial wall move tried to go through, but not enough. Punk with the triple slam is good for 1. Big Swig trying to make a big move here. Sephi can't quite win it out. There is another roller maneuver. Beautifully done from them. And the Rainmaker moves up, which means DPU falls just short at 67. 1 point less than Heidelberg here. They're still in a position to maybe get this out, but no, Heidelberg is there. They'll get control with 1.5 minutes left. Beautiful push, though.
Beautiful push, ball accompanied by beautiful defense. And we see the jumps coming in here, scrambling for something to get done here. Jamie already putting more pressure down, allowing their teammate walk forward here as well. Putting up the power here with the missiles coming out here as well. Potentially, it might be an opportunity here or a dagger, depending on how this works out, so.
Yeah, this is very, very close with the last minute means we're coming into those last pushes, but Bobby J moved themselves up into the space. Couldn't quite get through it and got punished for it. Trade still as JB manages to come out the top, but with the Rainmaker in the last motion, in the last minute sounding, Jamie now has to move back and play the defense here. Triple strike from both members of DPU to clear the space is met. It's all specials in from the side of DePaul, and they are trying to get a stop here, trying to do anything they can. They need it. Rainmaker now back to mid, but there's no specials and one-man advantage to the DPU squad. They'll get control of this, but they still haven't moved Rainmaker. They're trying to fight for this control. Punk gets a little too seen from that squid jump and gets pushed right out. Jamie now on the high ground, ready to put their foot down and get the stop, and they get it. Rat is dead. And now Jamie from the high ground just trying to control this here. Punk sees Punk at their sights trying to get it out. Good for a second. Now Cooler up for Jamie. It's going to be a duel, but SquidMotion, they'll win out 2. Trade 2 more for said. And 17 seconds here. Rainmaker now in the position of Heidelberg. This is, they don't even need to push. They just need to hold.
They don't need to push, they don't need to hold, but hey, greed pays off in spades, being able to run it all the way over. I guess that, I assume the members of DPU got a little bit of just a little bit of cold feet at the end. They were thinking in their minds that we need to fight for mid. We need to push this Rainmaker forward, not realizing that it was actually coming to them. It was going towards their spawn, and by the time they realized it, it was just a bit too late right there. Oh, I don't know what I can say. So that was yes, heartbreak. That is the word I'm looking for.
That's heartbreaking, especially because of how close that was. It was 1 point difference for most of that match just to then kind of get caught off guard. But that's what happens in these scrappy fights, right? You kind of think about what you need to be doing. Where's the next pick need to be? What do we need to do next? And if you aren't paying attention to the objective, it will punish you. But thankfully, there's still 2 more games for the side of DePaul. They can turn this around. We have our match 2 coming right up. We will be over in Mahi Mahi on zones. Going from, this is from one of the most hated, least played to now a crowd favorite. This actually might be a decent chance for DePaul to kind of swing it back in their favor.
Yeah, for sure. And something I want to give my flowers to both the edit players on both these teams, because yes. I think it was Jamie on Heidelberg, and then we have Peebus on DePaul, on DePaul as well. So both those edit players, I liked how they were just always on those gray areas and always doing what was necessary right there. We saw them play aggressive when the time called for it, when their team needed to push, and then they played beautiful defense there as needed when the Rainmaker or the numbers were not in their favor as well here. But playing on zones is going to be a little bit of a different story, because now what matters is controlling the areas ahead of the zone so that your opponents aren't able to get anywhere near it as well. But there are chances for weapon swaps here, so I wouldn't count my flowers, my weapons. I don't know what to expect from these players here, so because I feel like it's a bad. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I said don't count your squids before they ink. I guess maybe I don't know.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Can I steal that? Can I write that down?
That's all yours. Yeah, please have that. That's yours. But because you're right, because you were incredibly right. This is one of those map modes where it's kind of hard to play. You know, in theory, it starts out very small. It starts out very high ground. You could just kind of sit back with a pencil and kind of control it. But once you kind of get to that 50 point, the halfway point, it suddenly opens up, and suddenly something like the heavy edit that we've been seeing is like significantly more viable. So this is going to be very interesting. We'll have to see how these players want to play it. This is also a map where getting a knockout is very easy if you lose, the first fight the wrong way and the space gets taken too far. It looks like they are going to play a longer game here. It looks like we're going to play for these sightlines on both sides. Okay.
Okay, yeah, and I believe the edit player swapped to a Dreadringer on the side of DPU here as well. So instead of having a Splatling that's going to be swinging, you're going to have a Dreadringer that's going to be providing quite a lot of paint. So you have basically Paint City if you're a DPU, but you're a little bit lacking on that firepower there, which immediately shows with that first pick right there. That was the second player falling here, so...
Yeah, that's 2 down. Punk did manage to build it up very quickly with that roller, but it's not enough to get any value with it, as Heidelberg now at 80 already, and Bobby J once again just in the back line. The awareness from DPU just unfortunately not in their favor right now. They get caught lacking, and it goes back to the way of Heidelberg. This is exactly what I was afraid of, is Heidelberg just getting a run and taking it. Reef Slider in from P-Boss, doesn't quite get, they get one on their own, but they meet the hammer face to face there as the rest of Heidelberg. They get in control, they trigger this, and now the map changes, but it feels like Heidelberg is still firmly in control.
For sure, and I feel like, and they trying to get their specials like onto zone to be able to delay it as well here. Here. We see the splashdown come out here to help cap the zone here as well, but hey, it's already met with just other members getting ready to punish that accordingly. As you're coming down that splashdown, you're kind of just a sitting duck here as well, and Jeremy is taking full advantage of just being able to just swing back in here, not allowing any members to come back in here, so this is a dominant game here for an edit player.
Man, Jammy is the backline player I've always wanted to be in my ranked game, so kudos to them for just living my dream. Still continuing with this cooler down now as they'll break past the last of the penalty. 3 minutes 20 on the clock. P-Boss is trying to pick, but immediately Jammy's there again with support from Isaac. And this Heidelberg team, they are just controlling the space. They're painting. They are not giving up an inch. Even the side fights are there. The chumps come in from the side of DPU, but they are easily taking care of. They get back control here as it's still fighting within the neutral. Big Rat trying to push. It does find one. Good for 2. Big Rat on the side there of DPU. Eventually taken down by Jammy once again, but the damage is done. DPU got control for now. They burn through their penalty, and now Heidelberg has a long way to hold.
I have a long way to hold, but beautiful Reef Slider coming up from behind right there. So just getting 2 picks, as you said right there. Huge, absolutely huge. But hey, you know what? A hammer in response to prevent any more momentum from here. It just seemed like all the members are stuck on this snipe here trying to find Bobby J, and just unfortunately cannot. This Wiper is a rat here as well, and they just can't get a leg in here. They just, after they cap zone, they just can't be able to do anything. But no, a DC happens here, so...
Oh, that's so fortunate for DPU. They're going to have to play this through, and that means their chances are significantly less here. They'll have to play a lot more aggressive. Oh, that gets it shut out there. Punk gives their life trying to make that pick. It's a wipeout, and that means Heidelberg will get through the rest of their space, the rest of their penalty. I mean, this is a long way to go, Neptune, and DPU, it's disheartening to see this. They're going to send in the missiles, try to get as much value as they can, but the Rat trying to push through. Missiles manage to push everybody away, but it's over. Heidelberg, they've got it on 7. They get control of it again, and Heidelberg, with a thanks to a DC, take the 2-0 here.
Yeah, for sure. And here's the thing. I feel like Heidelberg was comfortably in control most of that game before the DC happened right there. Yeah. We saw Jammy getting a lot of good picks. I believe Bobby J as well, just being a consistent distraction right there, and then clicking hammer to create even more chaos right there. It's just very difficult to get any momentum started right there if you are DPU. It's just very unfortunate that the DC was how the cookie crumbled there at the end, because I felt like if they managed to just get one good setup right there, I feel like just the overwhelming paint on their comp would have been able to stop Heidelberg to be able to move anywhere forward here or there as well.
Yeah, because you could see it. Heidelberg never really pushed past mid. They were always kind of aware that if they tried to, push ahead and try to take the space, they were never really going to be able to do it. So maybe that's some just good recognition from them. DPU will get a second to get their DCs together as we move over to our final of the round here. It'll be Robo Ramen in Clams. And considering that we've seen Punk with this big swig, I feel like that's probably maybe one of the things that it may actually help here. This is a very vertical map, and something like that might actually be a bit of a difference maker.
Yeah, for sure. Big Swig is one of those weapons that I feel like started out in a really rough place, but slowly but surely the devs have been buffing it, giving it more stuff, and now has crazy object damage. It has probably one of the best vertical roller flicks in the entire game from just a statistical standpoint right here. And the one shot is deceptively large as well, and you just have so much damage that comes along with it. And having a torpedo as well as a splashdown to basically just secure the people that are also just like trying to rush you down right there. I think Punk is onto something with that pick there as well, but I'm also going to be watching out for the Heidelberg member, specifically Jammy, because you've been winning our hearts right there. As he put it there before, Jammy is the backline we wish we all had on our team in solo queue, but let's see how they go here. Game number 3 here in this play all 3 set here. Clam Blitz Ramen, let's rock and roll Sov.
Yeah, let's see what these teams are bringing in. I see a Wiper there coming in from the side of Heidelberg. Be back to the edit for the side of DPU, in addition to a couple of other smaller parts. I see an Octo Shot as well. Double missiles there, double triples. So an interesting bit of space control as we move into clams.
Yeah, for sure. I'm interested to see like what was the decision behind the strikes right here. I guess being able to force people out of space is something that's very valuable for them as well right here. And we already see multiple members just being stuck on this bottom right here, and Jammy is going to call that out every day of the week and just shut that down. Looking for one more here as well. It's just a battle of the edits going on right now where they just kind of charge and swing at each other, but Jammy is continuously showing why they are the edit player that they are.
I mean, look, if I'm anybody watching this in an upper division, I might be looking in my regular games to pick up Jammy for my non-collegiate squad. That's crazy. That dude has been crushing it, but it has been a neutral game here. 100-100 still as we hit the 4-minute mark. A triple strike now from DPU. Try to get this out, and Heidelberg moving now through these lower spaces. Again, just punishing these kinds of this awareness. It's going to be a chumps out from Heidelberg to try to maybe catch a little bit of distraction. Trade now, 2 down from the side of DPU. They'll give up the space here as Bobby J with the hammer going in, gets punished from P-Boss. A great read. P-Boss good for 2. P-Boss said, nah, Jamie, I'm not letting that happen. I'm not late too.
100%, dude. Just these edits are actually just playing a dance of their own as well. Like, look at this. They're just dancing in mid, looking to see what they can do to gain an upper hand here as well. There is a little bit of a difficulty being able to secure picks as well, but the picks are coming in one by the other here. But that is a double here from Jamie. Oh my god. Just
for the quad?
Going for the quad here, potentially. Hey, let's get some soda first. Let's reload, put a little bit more pressure. But it seems like both these teams are struggling to get any momentum going here, so...
Yeah, it seems like there's no flankers. No one's able to take out these edits, like you said, and they've been dominating the game, but this triple strike down from DPU does buy a little bit of space. The rest of the specials coming in cooler, maybe a little further than they want, because Jammy defending that sideline again. P-Boss has to give it up, and that cooler gets no value, and now Jammy just disrespectfully in the front line now. Just, I will walk on you, and I will win here. Finds Rat, has to give up that space finally, though. They can't get out of the way as clams on both sides are up, and eventually there's a flanker finally pushing Jammy back out of the way. 2:30, we are still scoreless here, Neptune. And again, now SquidMotion, they're going to try to push back here. Triple strikes coming in to try to push anybody out of the way. Sephi eventually falls, and now it feels like DPU finally get it back into a neutral position here as P-Boss good for one more. Going to try to call in the reinforcements right away here. Jammy, the trade again, but Jammy gets the better. Bobby J quickly to trade out there, and these teams just will not give an inch.
They will not give an inch. It's just, I think we've only seen them push back that choke point just one time here from Heidelberg here as well. But definitely this is a difficult spot here for Jammy, being on the low ground, being called out, but still comes out on top!
Crazy!
Jammy
crazy!
Oh my goodness. There's peanut butter and jelly, and then there's Jammy and Jammy. What a man!
Absolute madman right now. Just gonna go ahead and dodge that triple strike as well. Jammy in a tough spot, but still manages to live out. The team is there from Heidelberg to live this through. Power clam up on the side of Heidelberg now. SquidMotion still fighting for one more. Minute 30, still scoreless here. 2 down on the side of Heidelberg means that DPU has a chance to go, but they have 2 specials up. They have to push. Where's the push? Show me the aggression, DPU. Punk is going to go in, send the triple strim. Does catch 1. They have to keep pushing a little bit more. Big Swig now making big moves here as the tri-strike comes down again. Cooler's out. Somebody's got to go here. Cooler from the counter of the Heidelberg there as Big Rat moves to the high ground, sends it wide, and it falls short. That was their one shot as they lose 3 now with a minute to go. Heidelberg now in control.
I feel like this has just been stalemate the video game right here, with just both edits being as flashy as possible right here. But you can see just, it's so difficult to push past this choke point when all these teams are putting all their stocks into defense right here. Maybe just looking for a way to go forward here as well, but this edit battle is something that just continuously amuses me. Wait a sec, it's Bobby J on the back here, getting a flank to allow their team to get 2, and now they're trying to form a power claim to slowly make it up. Seffi running forward. They do manage to get it right here. The first score of the game, and I think that's going to be the only score here, so...
Yeah, that's 3 down for Heidelberg, and that means there's nothing else going in. That is the point to make here. A single power clam is enough. I believe that's going to be Rain coming in from Heidelberg to try to slow the oncoming push, but P-Boss going to go ahead and try to get this space. They have the cooler up, and now Jammy in position to meet that counter. Triple strike now coming in from DPU as Supernova trying to pull off these sidelines here. We're going to go into overtime as there is going to be a clam up, a Jammy now getting pushed out by Big Rat. Has to hold on to this. We're waiting for DPU to kind of push forward. Triple strike now coming in to push it out. Punk try to get something. No, getting it pushed out by Jammy again. Overtime ticks to half as the clam got moved. But Bobby J in the back line trying to make something happen. There's P-Boss has to go forward. Has to give up their own cooler to make it happen. And they survive through that. No, there's nowhere to go.
Oh,
Heidelberg.
Heidelberg.
Oh. Game of the semester. I'm called. That's it. That's my game of the semester right there. That's my match of the semester. I don't need anything else. That's the game right there. That's mine.
That was unironically. That was unironically some of the best defense I've seen from both sides as well. Just like. And then Bobby J coming up from behind, using that far right flank, I believe. The flank that no one really watches to because it feels like it's just so obscure, it's not worth it. It's on uninkable, you have to get through there as well, and you just DPU just immediately just crumbled from behind right there because someone took a flank that just often isn't used, and that's what secured them the game right there. But oh my goodness, the edit players have won my heart today. Congratulations, you guys are absolutely insane, pushing the edit to its maximum capacity as both an anchor as well as frontline.
I really want to see how many total splats, because I feel like those edits, those backliners, are definitely in the 20s to 30s just from pick value alone. Like you said, the defense from both of those sides was phenomenal, but it was the Heidelberg frontliners, the flanks, constantly got them on 2 of those 3 maps. So Heidelberg, they go on as a 2-0 and start a fantastic bracket run, and DPU, they go down 0-2 here against a very, very tough opponent. Both of these teams, I mean, this is an impressive division. I think Division 5 is going to be something we're going to be keeping an eye on in the future.
Yeah, for sure.
20 for Jimmy, 20 and 21 for P-Boss. Those are insane numbers. I can't believe that.
Yeah, for sure. Wow, you if I were on any of these teams and I had an edit player like them, I would be just... Oh, I'd be so grateful, just being all of them being able to just push up so far, put down so much paint, get so many picks, and live. They live through so many interactions. Yeah, that's the crazy part. Because normally when you go for more risky plays, you're not looking to like live at the end of the day. You're looking to like get some value for your team by trading like 2 for 1 or something like that, or 1 for 1. But like, no, this is just actually insane gameplay. Like this is This is just match of the semester right here.
Match of the semester, but unfortunately we'll take a break to recover from that as we've got yet another match, and we are going to be moving on up to Div 3 for our next game. So hang tight. We'll be back in just a minute with some more incredible Splatoon action here at CCA.
said we let it go, but we settled for the last. Couldn't let you want it though. Who am I to let you down? No. Who am I to let you down, down, if you let me walk away, maybe then we'd lose it all. No. Who am I to let you
Inside lane, missing exits, glued to the pavement. Between the lines, I'll keep my gaze straight ahead as the last stop flies by. No more waiting for the gun to fire. No more walking through revolving doors. I've gone around once, and I don't need to go around anymore. Break away, forget your sober case. Stop dwelling on empty words. Stop stalling in the doorway and cancel the cruise control. Switch it in the manual. Don't you wanna feel right? Full steam through the setbacks. You can't win them all, but I'm proud I tried. I'm glad we had a dialogue. It's good to shape the mind. Speeding up the pace, turning up the heat. Where I need to be for the first time. I'm taking risks, I'm casting off without a lifeline. Break away, forget your sober case. Stop dwelling on empty words. Stop stalling in the doorway and cancel the cruise control. Switch it in the manual. Don't you wanna feel right again?
What a day of incredible CCA action we have had so far, and we are going to keep it going here into Division 3. We've got the Neumont Llamas, one of our last circuit champions in Division 4, having now stepped forward and into their journey up against the Bentley Sea Strikers, both teams sitting at 1-1. But the Llamas in particular, a lot to prove here.
Yeah, for sure. There is a lot to prove here because now that you're, how do I say it, in up a division, you feel like there's higher expectations, right? Being the champ, more a former champion, I guess, or just a champion, you kind of have that little bit of a weight on your shoulders of like, oh, hey, there's some expectations on us on how we're going to do a little bit higher up right here. But hey, you're going to be punching a little bit in a higher weight class as well. Let's see as well. Yep. Sorry, I had to quickly check something right there because I'm doing both production and mic here as well today. Yeah. So
a huge shout out to Neptune, who is literally carrying this all on their back. I'm literally just here to try to hype them up as hard as I can. But, yeah, it's round 3. It's Swiss round 3 here as we get into it. So this is getting to that point where the cuts matter, and for both of these teams at 1-1. With every game mattering, this upcoming round is going to be so important.
Yeah, for sure. The first round is always something that is, I think, very important to look at here as well, because this kind of sets the pace and tone for the set as well, because not only are you looking for extra points for the leaderboard, you're also looking for some more opportunities to be able to, help your seed in that bracket stage, because, oh boy, that bracket stage, that can be pretty brutal as well, because it's single elimination, so being able to do well here kind of like, not necessarily guarantees you, but kind of glides you into that path of projected for finals if you are able to win all the games as well here. So we're going to be starting off here on Tower Control Hagglefish here, and it's going to be quite an interesting game here.
Yeah, I mean, Tower Control in particular is always one of those modes that requires a lot slower pace, so those fast aggressive teams really kind of do a struggle. And over in Hagglefish, let's remember, this map is huge. This is a long map, so we're gonna be really, we just came off of a battle of the backlines, but this is still gonna be a lot of pressure onto these backline players.
Yeah, for sure. So I think there's a bit of a connection issue as we're not loading in correctly. Okay, we're good. So Neumont Llamas are going to be in the bright yellow here, and then we're going to have Bentley Sea Strikers and the bright blue here. As I fix these overlays here, so what's standing out to you?
Well, I do see that looks like the new that's the new long distance Hydra in the back there. Interesting. I kind of would have thought we might have stayed onto the heavy edit, but I don't think we're going to see that, as we do have a brush just running around in the back line there as Ava trying to hold down these sight lines to keep this tower locked down with that new edit, with that new Hydra there. Just keeping the pressure up. Cart still in mid, but picks do seem to be going the way of our blue squad. They will get control here to start.
Yeah, for sure. And using this new Hydra here is quite an interesting pick here as well, because generally speaking, when you have a Hydra, it's definitely very difficult to move up, but you have your own bubble to keep yourself safe, to allow yourself more time to charge right here as well. But hey, it's a little bit of a scrap already, as the Llamas already come out swinging, getting multiple down already.
Yeah, the Sea Strikers will go back here. They did get it to 67, which is a decent opening push, but there will be a whale from the side of the Llamas. They'll push in as Willow just go ahead and contest from this low ground, push their way up into the back. And taking this aggressive space, I really do actually like this. They'll eventually get sorted out, and GXS is going to send that hammer immediately away. But the Llamas got everything they wanted. They got the lead. They got out of the way. GSX is good for a second. 54 before Albi has to get out of the way.
Yeah, for sure. Albi has been a
coming in.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Go.
Okay, I was gonna say Albi is a player I need to give my flowers to consistently here. The ink brush has been something that is consistently being a threat right here, especially when not being accounted for, getting 2 picks immediately, and now causing all the members of the Sea Strikers to come back. Look at how much of a distraction they're causing here. So.
Yes, they are forcing the team to look on the side entirely, and even sending 1-2 all the way down to do that. So the cart. Oh my gosh. As Aeolus still pushing through here, just holding down the fort, 41 past the second into checkpoint 2 here. They'll get out of the way, looking for the safety of team. They got it for now. 3v1 as the cart holds down bomb now just to buy a little bit more space. Cart moving back the way it goes, but Aeolus is there. Reef Slider goes wide. Not sure what we were looking for on that, but that's sometimes we throw it there. It'll get met. 3 down means that it goes back the way of the blue squad.
Yeah, for sure. Just, we definitely see Bentley Sea Strikers here putting in quite a bit here. Buckets definitely putting in a lot of pressure here as well, being able to just slosh their heart's contents right here. We do see missiles come out here as well, and they look for an opportunity to go forward here, but pick for pick, trade for trade. The tower's still not going to move forward here, as they have to worry about Albi, who's once again being a rat on this brush right here.
Yeah, Aldi just continuously making them look back in there, and again, still hiding, catches the one out, and that's exactly what you're looking from your frontliner, from your Sharker to do there. They'll go in and try to set it. The Re-Slider does manages to pop up high enough to get them, so it will be the Sea Strikers getting back in control, still with a lot of work to go. In a minute, a little under 2 minutes to go, that'll be the cart now empty again. Missiles, so a little bit more celebratory for the side of the Llamas as they get back on control.
Yeah, for sure. The Llamas are doing a great job here, just keeping control of mid as well. They do use a Booyah here a little bit early, I think, here, but hey, it does secure a little bit of space right here, getting a little bit frantic from both these teams as well. But Sov, I need you to take it from here. I need to fix some stuff.
No, you take care of that. I've got this from here. Looks like the Llamas will be holding out here with a minute 17 on the clock. Still just kind of pushing through, holding down on mid as the Bentley Sea Strikers will continue to push. Missiles out from the side of them, easily avoided from our backline Squid here as the cart still sitting in mid area. It's going to pop the crab. Will be a pick from Albi though. Albi down, and the crab now has to get used a little bit defensively. That's 3 down for the side of the Llamas, and the Sea Strikers pick it up and they carry it through. 67 and still 2 checkpoints to go, but now they have at least a couple tools in their way. They're going to pop the bubble early here as they have a feeling Albi is close by. Bomb goes into it as Aeolus can take away the rest of the bomb. Now that's going to be a wave on point now just to try to clear this, and it does exactly its job. No, the Swatling goes down there, and that means the wipeout is sure to follow. The Llamas back in control with 30 seconds left, and man, this is still so much of this push to go. The Llamas just need to hold it here for the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, for sure. The Llamas just need to sit back and relax a little bit here, but hey, they're still ready to scrap right there. I'll be getting called out there immediately. It seems like Bentley Sea Strikers is catching on to the sneaky tactics of this ink brush right here, realizing that ink brush needs to go down before anything else, but hey, just you can only do so much when you're forced into a wipeout situation right there. So,
and they got control. The Llamas will take it in game 1. Very, very back and forth, but like you said, I think a lot of the damage was done by Albi from the Llamas, really just kind of just being that nuisance, really forcing the attention and using some incredible control of the whole map. Like I kind of alluded to, this is a big map, but Albi really made use of all of it.
Yeah, for sure. That's the thing about it's kind of like a crazy paradox in a sense of you think the bigger the map, the worse ink brush would be because it has one of the shortest ranges in the game, and what you need to do is close even more distance theoretically. However, the fact that it's a larger map means there's more places to check for where this ink brush is. So now you kind of have the seesaw effect of, okay, they need to work hard to be able to get to the places they need to be, and then the enemy also has to work even harder sometimes to find where they are, because obviously it's a larger map. There's more turf to cover, more areas to check, and yeah, that is the dynamic of having an ink brush on your comp right there as well. But so, game number 2, you see what I'm seeing?
Game 2. Yeah, I see something that could have been literally out of Splatoon 2. I see something that these teams should both know. It's Humpback Pumpback with Rainmaker. And while we do have the added checkpoints to kind of go through, I feel like this is just a muscle memory check in some ways, Neptune. This is something that teams have been playing for almost a decade now, it feels like. So both of these teams, I don't know that there should be a ton of surprises outside of maybe the weapon choices.
Yeah, for sure. I think, honestly, from my understanding of how the Llamas operate, given my past history of being a producer for them, because I think I've been a producer here for over 2 years. Wow, that is Okay,
that sounds right.
That sounds about right. Yeah, that's really just settling into my skull and realizing, like, okay, I've been here for a while, but okay. But no, going back to my point right here, the Llamas have done so much in CCA that I think they're just one of those teams that just love sticking to their weapons. They realize what they love, they realize what they like, they realize they can build around the ink brush, and they are all set around that here as well. Meanwhile, I'm less familiar with Bentley Sea Strikers here as well, so if there's going to be some interesting counter picks in the sense of, say, a Stringer, or like, say, some more AoE to like play around the ledges around on this map right here, because let's just say the one thing about Humpback is it's not a flat map anywhere at all.
No, and that like you said, the Stringers, maybe even Blasters. We do see a lot of frontline like Lunas sometimes pop up. So we'll really have to kind of see, like you said, what Bentley wants to do to kind of counter this out, because we are pretty high up. We're Div 3 now. This is where you can't necessarily just get relied on mechanical skill. It comes down to a lot of those small choices. So as we jump on into Humpback Pump Track, beautifully spinning around, we'll see what these teams are coming around with. It'll still be that brush. I do see the Blaster, though, come in from the side of the Llamas, and it will be met by 2 of the frontline swords from the Sea Strikers.
Yeah, for sure. Sea Strikers opting for a double sword comp here, which is very, how do I say it? It was very popular initially here as well, but it still has that popularity with how dynamic and quickly the swords are able to move around here. But you can definitely see Albie here continuously putting in pressure right here, as well as keeping a massive distraction, allowing their team to move forward here, pushing this back line as far back as possible, as well as getting another pick with the whale. Wow. That just allowed the first checkpoint to fall just like that here, so...
Yeah, that's exactly what you want out of your frontliner, just to make that space demand. They demand it. Aeolus gonna go ahead, has to get the crab. They lose it immediately, but they do get trades. It's 2-2 even trades here as, well, it's just gonna sit there. We'll probably end up falling back into 0 as neither team too excited to go ahead and push into it. Rainmaker will reset back to mid, and back to the neutral we go here. 4 minutes still live as specials start rolling online for the Sea Strikers. Looking for the next push. Pop is there. Triple strike is down now, and that makes it in. They're going to send in the Reslider as well. Doesn't quite get anybody. As the Llamas, they move it forward just enough to be in a little bit of an awkward position. Numbers favoring the Sea Strikers here, as we'll see a couple of specials come out here. Hammer from GXS going in, buying a lot of that space. This is a classic trait out of one of those pathings that you can see. And the Sea Strikers, well, they're going to go ahead and get that checkpoint.
Yeah, for sure. Sea Striker's doing a fantastic job just clearing out space right here. These swords are dangerous, especially when they get set up here as well. But we do have Ava over here using that splash down just to secure a little bit of points here. Well, I don't think that's going to be securing the lead. Just having the mental security of having the lead right there can definitely put you in the driver's seat and having more success here, so...
Yeah, but this driver's seat has been very fought over, as neither team really able to carry these fight wins together here. 3 minutes and still climbing as specials online. Edit gives up their special in, and Willow good for 1 as those whales continue to go. Now back at mid. Looks like the Llamas will get control again, but there's someone coming in on the side. Bubble down, give their life for it. Aeolus does manage to steal the lead there, 50-58 for the Llamas. That's just enough now, considering how tight these choke points are. Bentley Sea Strikers now back in charge here. Just going to send that hammer long. Maybe make a little space here from GXS. And that duel can't quite win it out. It'll be on Ava to pick up and carry for now.
Yeah, for sure. The Ava being able to take that Rainmaker out of that choke point right there is absolutely massive. Being able to just have a little bit more space right here, but no, being called out by this ink brush right here. Albie strikes once again right here, looking for an opportunity to pop this Rainmaker real quick here as well. And now the Rainmaker's in a bit of an awkward spot right here for both teams, and they're going to opt to move it back to the elbow here, so...
Yeah, this elbow is where everybody gets stuck. There's only funny business going on as Albie, in an unusual spot here, does have control of the Rainmaker, decides they're just going to do it themselves with 2 minutes on the clock and man down. A bubble goes down for the side of the Sea Strikers. There's the rest of the specials, and there goes Albie back to spawn. Looks like Sleepy 10. Oh, what a beautiful pick from around that corner. Never saw it coming, and Sleepy 10 just going to go ahead and push for the space here. Yet another pick. Reef Slider is in, which means that point is moving. Rainmaker gets to 12 before the wipeout hits. hits, but that might be enough to secure a victory for the Sea Strikers.
Yeah, for sure. Just a beautiful push set up with the specials right there that allowed them to walk forward, but unfortunately, all the members are wiped out and set up to spawn right here. So I don't expect any specials to come out anytime soon, and Albi is taking full advantage of that, recognizing if you just play aggressive, you can get picks as necessary. But hey, look at this. This Rainmaker is moving forward, but it's not going to be enough here, so...
No, it falls just short of 18, still 6 shy of the Sea Strikers 12. Last minute, and with this Rainmaker in the control of the Sea Strikers, puts a very, very difficult situation. It means the Llamas, they have to get a pick here. They have to get this because Sea Strikers are just going to sit back, and you can see it. Their picks are even 1-1. Now they're just going to hold back for now, but Albi is in the back line, ready to shark and make the move. I think that Ava spotted him. Just looking to see where they see it. Yeah, they're Albi in a dangerous position here. Has to go in a trade. No, they get picked for it, which means that this push is basically done and over. The rest of the Llamas will have to give the space as buckets. Go ahead and just takes this, moves the Rainmaker out into a little bit more of an interesting position on this high sniper point, looking for a little bit of value. 3 down. Sea Strikers, they're firmly in control here in the last half minute.
Yeah, for sure. A little bit of a dangerous situation right there. That flank could have been deadly, but Ava just immediately calling that out, stopping it in its tracks right there is what Sea Strikers need to keep this lead secured right here. But it's a little bit of a dangerous position keeping the Rainmaker right here because it's so close to the checkpoint as well. And Booyah Bomb going to be able to pop right here. There's no one that's ready to defend. It's going to run forward here. Willow runs forward and gets 3. Oh my goodness. But we're still in here because now it's overtime. Do or die. This is what the game has become here, so.
Yeah, this is the worst case scenario for the Sea Strikers. They played a little too close to the edge, and now they're into overtime, teetering on this win. They need to get a push here. They're gonna have specials 2 up, but they have to try to move it. But there's the flank for the win. The Llamas steal it out. They didn't see it coming.
They did not see it coming at all here. Just both these teams had such a good back and forth for a majority of this game right there. I think the big mistake, if you want to call it a mistake, I guess it is a mistake because I'm calling it out right here. Keeping the Rainmaker so close to your window area right there was so risky because if you get splatted with the rain right there, well, it's the Rainmaker is in a position to already move forward and get even more points so quickly, right? And the problem with that was just, that's exactly what happened. They got splatted, and then immediately a Booyah Bomb got chucked right there at that to insta-pop the Rainmaker, and that allowed Willow to practically run that Rainmaker uncontested there because, excuse me, just being able to just have all that space right there just for the taking allowed you to just easily swap the lead and basically knock out their Sov.
Yeah, it was a crucial mistake, unfortunately, for the side of the Sea Strikers, and it cost them the set. They still have the chance to win game 3, but it'll be a bit of a, well, an unfortunate kind of a takeaway if they can. Since we are coming to the end of the Swiss rounds here, this will be one of the last games that we get in, and the Llama is now going up. I think the other thing we kind of have to address is the fly in the room here, which is Albi, who just time and time again constantly catches the Sea Strikers on the flanks, constantly catches them when they're not looking. And that's kind of one of those things that at this level, I feel like you should be a little bit more aware of.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Like, the ink brush is one of those weapons. It gets the value from less people paying attention to it, right? It's a balancing act, as I said before. Just, you can't give the brush too much attention, otherwise the teammates are going to play off of that distraction right there as well. Otherwise, if you don't give it just enough, you'll be able to hopefully splat it and get rid of it in time here. But I believe the last map mode is going to be Umami Zones right here as well. So we do have a bit more of a traditional zones map, but unlike your other ones, you have a dual zone here. So stuff like Reef Slider is going to be a little bit less effective at capping it as well. You can secure one, but you need to have the other one secured if you're looking to get a little bit of that cap immediately there. But yeah, I can definitely see the Llamas sticking to their guns, maybe, if they want to keep the S-Blast to help up with that ledge. But yeah, no, they seem to be piloting it really well here. Meanwhile, Sea Strikers, double sword is something that I think can work here as well here, Sov.
Yeah, I do think there's a lot of potential for it, particularly when you look at like how hammer can get used even a short range or in the distance, how quickly it can be used to cover one, if not both of the zones, if you drive it right and pilot it right. But it's gonna kind of come down to, again, I think what happens with Albi and these frontliners, because the Neumont Llamas have been making so much value on just, you know, kind of being able to use the full of this map together. And with 2 zones, it can be very easy to lose control. Let's see what these teams decide to do. No real changes. I think that's a pro coming in there. And okay, looks pretty similar to the initial comp. 3 very aggressive weapons. No backliner for the Sea Strikers.
Yeah, for sure. You know what? Sometimes just being able to full send right here as well is probably going to be what you need most if you're playing this backlist here as well. But hey, we do see double sword coming out here once again out to play. But seems like the double sword shenanigans are being called out and being punished accordingly. GXS needs to back up here with Aeolus being able to put so much pressure here. This kind of reminds me of what I saw in that last set here. The edit player is just getting ready to play super aggressive as necessary as the hammer does get popped here, so.
The hammer's there, and GXS will find one. Doesn't quite get control, and they get punished for it. And, I mean, that's enough for the side of the Sea Strikers to push it back. Maybe got a little too aggressive for the Llamas. Like you said, they were able to kind of hold up and push it, but they gave up too much space and bends back. Sleepy 10 also getting punished for that now as the Whale comes back in from the side of Albi, looking for their next victim, trying to put some ink down and contest. Caught with a bomb, misses the torpedo, still fighting and fighting for their life here. A little bit of poking now as we round the 4-minute corner. Akumu to go ahead and throw down the missiles. Pass that information along. Lead going the way of the Strikers as there's not really been a chance to contest. Reef sliders in. Akumu just manages to get out of the way, but now Bucket's not even...
Oh,
no! Also just goes off the ledge there. And that's the way it is. Ava now looking to get back in control. 50 and counting the Sea Strikers in lead.
Yeah, for sure. And Ava continuously pushing up here, putting up the pressure. This brush is kind of, how do I say, constrictive in the areas it can move right now. They are able to click whales and trying to find a way forward here, so, but it just feels like it's being called out every single time.
Yeah, I say they're hyper aware, Neptune, and Albi still with that manages to get one with the trade, calling out that they got one. Booyah Bomb sent in as well as the trades continue to fall the way. Doesn't get anybody on the Strikers, but does manage to flip his zone here. 3 minutes and 18 for the Strikers. They are pretty firmly in control with a big penalty to go, but the zone will go the way of the Neumont Llamas here. Still very scrappy as the Crab gonna get mapped by the triple strikes. Aeolus has to get out of the way, and it's just them holding on in a sea of blue. They'll go back to spawn as the Bentley Sea Strikers get control.
Yeah, for sure. It just feels like the Llamas just barely was able to hold on and be able to get that zone there as well. And now they kind of have to figuratively and literally fight this uphill battle here with the bubble being placed here, stalling out a lot of time right here. We do have a lot of specials, but we have Albi somehow getting behind here as well. With the missiles going out here, this could be an opportunity for the Llamas to flip the zone and get something else here, so.
This is probably their best chance to do it. Still 2 minutes, and Booyah Bomb going in as well. No, it did land. I was about to say to get canceled, but Albi again rendered a little bit just done there as Sleepy 10 just going into the back and trying to do some magic here. Still pushing the way of the Llamas as they climb down out of this penalty. GXS now gone there as Aeolus gonna go ahead and pressure out with this Crab, just try to hold these high grounds. Contest against whoever's left. 45 and counting here still. Trying to build down. Triple strike comes out from the Sea Strikers as they begin their push back. No one gotten out of it. Bucket's holding onto this Reef Slider, trying to find any place to use it. Trying to get a little chip there. Gets one with their luck. GXS going to go ahead, send the hammer in as the control still in the Llama's hands. 24 eventually gets stopped. One zone taken. They flip the second. That puts the penalty back now, and the Sea Strikers firmly in control.
Yeah, for sure. Sea Strikers found a response that they were looking for right there when they needed it most, going with that first pick right there as well. And specials being clicked in response to that Crab to be able to stop it here. Sleepy 10 calls out this brush immediately. This brush has been continuously a thorn in their sides for this entire set, and now it's being dealt with. Beautiful pick from Sleepy 10 right here, going insane on this decapitator right here.
Just great, incredible awareness from these frontliners on both sides here as we round the last minute. Control still to the Sea Strikers here. Sleepy 10 gets punished for maybe getting a little too aggressive, and Albi the same, follows up. 3 down for the Llamas. It's a wipeout, which means the Sea Strikers still in control. 10 and no penalty here. They are going to push up and try to close this out as Ava still just go ahead and try to push this down, clear the jump-ins, and that's enough. The Sea Strikers take 1 for their consolation prize.
You know what? Sea Strikers, they sent a message, and they knew what they needed to do. It just was a little bit late adaptation during the set right here. Had this been a best of 5, I could have definitely see this is going to a game 5 mile stretch right here. And you can definitely see the Sea Strikers learned from their experiences right here and utilize the map mode to their utmost potential to be able to call out the brush, stop the brush from doing what it wants to do, and then collapse in on the other members and stop them trading special for special, allowing just any normal advantage just to stay an advantage there.
Yeah, I mean, the advantages they definitely caught from those, for just not trading out specials definitely helped. They also seemed to get a better control on those brush. They seemed like they were just kind of watching their flanks a little bit better, and maybe it's because, like you said, a little bit smaller map, a little more fine-tuned, but the Sea Strikers, they don't go home empty-handed at the end of Swiss. They ended the set 1 with Llamas winning the set in 2, and speaking of ending the set, I think that's actually us. I think you're finally free, Neptune.
I'm free, but from the mic stance, I'll be still lurking in the shadows, working on the production side here. We're going to be doing Division 2 Top Cut here as well on the side of CCA. Meanwhile, on the side of Splatoon tourney, we do have Jorian operating the spec cam there, with Falco and Keon, I believe, taking the mic over there with Division 1 Top Cut there. Stick around, folks, because your usual Division 1 players or teams are not around today because they already qualified. So there is a chance at the crown for someone new to take it there. And same thing can be said for Division 2 here. We'll have Dark and Cater coming up here as well. So stick around, folks. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys shortly after this break.
start falling, falling, falling. 'Cause we'll start falling, falling, falling. 'Cause we'll start falling.
Get ready for the next battle, ladies, gentlemen, Zaydems, and what's in between. My name is SPF Dark. We're coming at you live here at the CCA for our 6th and final qualifier of the season. But before we get to our first few matches of this night, though, I am joined by someone else here today.
Hello, that's me. I'm Cater. What do you want me to say?
I don't know, riff, I guess.
Yeah. Well, we are here indeed. Circuit qualifier number 6. Very excited to see what these teams have. Of course, we just, we've already had the stream. Our first couple casters have done a great job, set us up for success here. And now we are heading into, it looks like D2 here. Mm-hmm. We've got High Tide versus Seacret Service, spelled with the like the body of water. Secret, very clever.
Yeah, a Secret Service versus High Tide. Kicking things off here with Clamblitz, Inkblock, Art Academy. Not necessarily the specific mode this map's known for, but still a very popular mode nonetheless here. As we see what these two teams are going to be bringing forward here. High Tide bringing a very interesting team comp, I want to say.
Yeah, so both of these teams opting to run without your, usual pen or headed as the backline. The cooler choice on High Tide going to be that Winter Rapid there, so really, really excited because that's not as common of one you see. And then the Zap on the side of Secret Service, also completely fair. A lot of paint coming out from them as well with 2 shooters and that Dread Ringer. That is going to be a lot of area control that can get set up correctly.
Yeah, denying the space as much as you can is sort of the name of the game for Clamblitz specifically, slowly choking out resources here as both these two teams are a bit of a stalemate. There has been a few stray picks here and there and specials being used, but nothing too congruent just yet. But as the Kraken goes in on the defense side, the Reslider comes in and stops a potential push from High Tide as now things are returned back to neutral once again.
Yeah, especially on this slightly larger map like Inkblot here, Clamblitz can be just a really, really long struggle for neutral until one of these teams is able to open the door, either by getting a double or a triple or some sort of situation that really opens the door to an actual opportunity. Otherwise, these teams are kind of just in this endless tug of war in mid here. We've got a few specials. We do have that bubble from the decav that can be really, really important in prolonging a push. We have the missiles come out as well, losing the Winter, though, and having to contend with the Reef Slider, able to take them out, but losing 2 members means that despite all the specials popped, High Tide is going to back off onto their own plat, allowing Secret Surface to take much more control of mid. They also have more clams on them. Ooze Dragon here very close to making a ball, and they already have a ball. 15 total clams is great economy for them. We'll see if they can turn this into a push.
Yeah, there was a potential for them to get some points there if the T-Tech was able to get those strikes off and clear the path there, but the teams ran out that way. It's now, once again, High Tide's bringing them in mid, using their specials to take control of the area yet again, pushing them forward. 2 down for Secret Service means that High Tide can go on the Rampage, get the first power clap into the clan basket, and get the first points on the board.
First points indeed, though Secret Service quick on the defense and not allowing any follow-up to come in from that despite the amount of clams High Tide is carrying. So that will only be the one power clam going in for High Tide. Secret Service has a good amount of clams, but right now it's kind of stuck in their plat area. As you can see, the combination of the decaf and the Winter Rapid on High Tide with that range just consistently denying the ability to drop. 2 down here and the Kraken goes in as well. The strikes, no match for it as the Kraken simply goes right through them, and this looks like another push to come in here for High Tide, but Fenrir there on the power clam does go down with the bubbles here, both bubbles coming out on the flat area here, and the cooler as well. Can High Tide get this clam in and sneak it in? It doesn't look like they can, opting to jump back to spawn instead.
Yeah, moving just a little bit too slow. High Tide wasn't able to actually get that power clam into the clam basket, and now Secret Service was able to repel the attack, and now trying to hold mid as best they can, bringing things back to a neutral state yet again. Now with 2 minutes remaining in this game, the clan economy is in Secret Service's favor here, as High Tide maybe opting just to try and stall it out for as long as they can. They got the first point power clam of this game so far. They could try and turtle up for the remainder of this game and let this, as this game stays in a neutral state, they can 100% win it like this here. And as these two teams are still trading back and forth with each other, it doesn't seem like there's a clear winner here.
Yeah, again, trading, but we have the 2 specials go out here, and this could be something for Secret Service. Fenrir, they're absolutely not letting up Green Yoshi in that bubble, trying to get something done, but it is shredded before they can start pushing, and there is also no power clam. So even with the strikes, with the reef, with the bubble, there was not a power clam to contend with. Meanwhile, we have Lime here, just kind of chilling in their wall on the side. 96 deco. The range afforded by that weapon is really, really useful here on Inkblot. Pixelmon has, again, a power clam now, needs to try and get up this ramp here, but with the bubble, they're going to make it much more difficult for them to push, and Java, a huge threat on that ramp.
Yeah, I mean, this ramp control is crucial here to try and keep yourself alive or keep the game going, depending on which side you are. And now in the final minute of this game, Secret Service is trying desperately to try and break through that ramp as best they can, but the defense from High Tide is just too strong. They're slowly losing their ground here, as bit by bit they're getting pushed back further and further. Kraken going on the defense side line here, trying to see if they can get Pixelmon, but no, it's forced to retreat here as the Kraken runs down, and the player going down on each side. Dragon, though, is over here potentially setting the solo for potential push, but no, Fenrir gets them out of the bubble, and now 20 seconds remaining. No power clams online for Secret Service. Things are not looking good.
They do have one. I believe that's a pity that they went back and picked up, so Green Yoshi picks that up in time. We are likely going to see overtime triggered as Secret Service tries to put together one last push. Numi here on that reef slider could be absolutely huge to take control of that flat area if they're able to angle it correctly up the ramp, but they have to get past all of this AoE. We've got overtime here. Here are the strikes coming out from Secret Service and the reef slider as well, clearing a path to the basket. 2 jumps, but the reef slider goes down. Lime here camping the jump. 7 clams going down, and that power clam carrier Ooze Dragon has the bubble, gets the direct, but has no teammates, and as soon as they step outside of that bubble, they are taken down by Apollo on that Winter Rapid. That is our first game.
Yeah, good awareness right there at the end for High Tide, recognizing that the reef slider was about to come in to try and get an overtime push going, and backing up at the proper time as well to ensure that another teammates got punished there, instead being the ones to punish the reef slider in turn, and being able to just completely deny that potential overtime victory for Secret Service.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking at our replay here, this is the ending where Secret Service tried their best to get something done, but the jumps got camped, and Ooze Dragon just wasn't able to follow the reef in. Despite getting the pick here, they just didn't have the backup and resources necessary to get that power clam into the basket.
Yeah, a good opener nonetheless from these two teams. A relatively stalemate game with only just a single power clam scored that entire game. It goes to show how tight this match is here between High Tide and Secret Service. So it's really up to the second game here for them to try and get things back under control for Secret Service. Anyway, since now we're in the bracket series, we move from a play all 3 to a best of 3. So you really, if you want to try and see that third game anyways and stay alive and not get eliminated here, you need to really get this second game and unlock.
Absolutely. There is less room for error now that we are in that best of 3, like you mentioned. Our second game here in this best of 3 set is going to be Tower Control on Ship-Shape Cargo Company. So definitely a little less room for having constant stalemates, because if you're not defending the other correctly or keeping those areas that you really need, the other team is going to be advancing that tower forward. It's not so team dependent on whether the points are on the board, as it is with clans. You are actively throwing in every single point, no?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, swinging big here, or swinging here will always be a big swing just because of the nature of this map here. But we see these two teams don't really change anything too drastic from either of their weapon lines. I'm pretty sure every single weapon here is returning, so they're confident with what they brought so far from the last game. So really, it's going to be up to how they want to play out the maps most specifically and how they want to try and leverage that to their advantage here. As both these two teams make a break for mid, Tactical are already out online for Secret Service, meaning they can look and try and go for an aggressive opening here, but it does not go well. On their side, is 2 goes down immediately.
Yeah, huge plays from Java there, just jumping onto the cooler of Secret Service and seeing what they could get. Pixelmon all the way on the enemy court over there, trying to make their way back to their own, but does get taken out there. Ooze Dragon keeping an eye out on this upper left hand as their teammates start tapping onto that tower. Takes control here, has that bubble. Bubbler on both sides can be very important, especially when popped at the right moment on those checkpoints, or where you just need a couple more points of that tower. So it's possible that we see a game-changing bubbler here. Another cooler out for Secret Service. As you can see, they are very consistently able to hold that upper right portion there, but the decab just keeps invading their court with the bubbles and just being an absolute nuisance. Java knows their job.
Yeah, I mean, decab here can be, especially with a bubble like that, it can be kind of scary to try watching a decab from outside the bubble, since it has such a long range and long dash. It can instantly close the gap in just a matter of seconds, so you got to be really mindful of that weapon here. But it seems that High Tide had the opportunity to potentially get a few points and their first checkpoint on their side, but no, Secret Service held it strong there and repelled the attack, and now being the ones to get the first first major lead on their side, they're looking to try and make sure they can hold this as best they can so they get this first checkpoint.
Yeah, that wipeout situation, absolutely huge. The first real dominant play we've seen from either of those two teams. Look at that reef slider coming out from Numi, gets Java, and continues to hold this space in front of that alley leading into the spawn of High Tide. Meanwhile, that tower past the first checkpoint, and this is a 2-checkpoint map, so not a lot stands between them and the second one. Ooze Dragon very pushed up in this bubble here, in their element, gets the first one, and zoning this member out here, forcing them all the way. Lime, unfortunately, not able to dodge the AoE, and that is the second checkpoint falling for Secret Service. They are in the single-digit range now. Java going around the side, trying to get everything they can. Green Yoji still, and that is a wipeout. 4 points before the ending. The combination of all members of High Tide jumping on that tower, able to stop them from a knockout, but that is a very high bar that Secret Service has set for the rest of this game.
Yeah, I mean, in order to contest that 4 points remaining, you practically need a knockout here, which isn't an easy thing to do here on this map due to how dangerously close the tower is to the spawn side of your opponents. Once you get down to those single-digit points here, but High Tide may be able to start getting this momentum going. Just as Secret Service started to get the ball rolling on this first checkpoint, going to the second checkpoint, High Tide's looking pretty good here. We see Java on a rampage, getting pick after pick after pick, allowing this tower to move up freely without any contest now. And with the Tentamuses coming in, they're looking to try and keep Secret Service in check here as High Tide gets this ball rolling. This is when a snowball turns into avalanche for this map. They gotta be very careful here for Secret Service.
Look at this Kraken from Lime, though not getting any picks, draws so much attention, allowing that tower to go all the way to 32, and that is, and counting, but that reef slider from Numi, not quite getting the angle it wants, and does get punished there. Pixelmon, though, on that upper right hand, able to punish the tower rider and take back the tower. Green Yoshi also posing a similar threat. We do see Java hopping up to deal with them, but they do lose themselves and their teammate as well, the pro being the only one, so an incredible push all the way to 21, but not quite breaking that third checkpoint. High Tide is going to have to gear up for another push in the last minute of our match.
Yeah, Secret Service did an extraordinary job keeping that checkpoint alive, because I think that's going to be a very pivotal thing if we see an overtime scenario here. But unfortunately for them, though, Secret Service does get a disconnect here, and with 1 minute remaining, it's now going to be a question of can Secret Service survive long enough here to prevent that first checkpoint from going down, or will High Tide be able to ride this tower to victory and take the second game in their name?
Ooze Dragon is in a great point to defend right here as long as they don't fall victim to the Kraken there. Has the bubble narrowly avoiding the AoE right now, has to contend with the missiles and falling off the ledge here. The tower is still in possession of High Tide as they go to that tower, but there is still the cooldown on that. Java is still up here trying to deal with them. Ooze Dragon falls. Unfortunately, that checkpoint almost gone now. With 2 members on the tower, it is moving at light speed. Lime does go down. Pixelmon throwing themselves at the tower. That is 3 down, though, with Java the only one alive, trying to get the pick. There is none, and that is 5-4 as Java is taken out by the Reef Slider, and we see a celebratory booyah on that tower with a disconnect, managing to hold their own within 1 point of that lead flipping. Secret Service takes that match and brings us to a game 3.
A surprising game 3 here in this game. It wouldn't have been surprising, in fact, if we still had Secret Service's 3rd player here, but because it was a 4th player, but because it was a 3v4 at the very end here, they were able just to hold on just long enough, just barely by a thread, to keep themselves alive for this set, even with the disconnect. And man, what a hold that was!
I think that if Numi hadn't been able to charge up Reef Slider in that moment, this match would have ended differently, because as you can see, they don't have it. These few sloshes that assist with Pixelmon in taking out the other 3 members on tower charge their Reef Slider, and Java is geared up for the slash as well. So if they didn't have that explosive power, they would have gone down, and very likely the match would have ended in a lead swap.
That I genuinely... I have never seen a situation play out like that before, down to the literal wire, seconds away from the game ending, just points away from the lead being swapped, and you still hold it strong. You gotta give credit for Secret Service there. And now we're in a game 3 scenario here, in our first round, by the way. We're going to see Rainmaker and Mincemeat Metalworks to finish out this set, and I know both of these 2 teams definitely don't want to go home just yet, especially after that game. They want to be the ones to move forward, so we're definitely going to be seeing a very intense game here.
Yeah, we saw, like you said at the beginning of this set, this match is tight. These 2 teams were locked in a neutral state for almost the entirety of our Clan Blitz match, and then with Shipshape, we also saw how even these teams are, with both of them having great breakout pushes and offensive and defensive capabilities. So it's not surprising to me that it boils down to a game 3. If it were anywhere other than CCA, I would act surprised that we're on Mincemeat Metalworks Rainmaker, but it's CCA. I honestly would be a little more surprised if we didn't have any mincemeat in our map list at this point.
Oh, being here for as long as I have, I do know that CCA do love some of the quote-unquote weirder picks, and I'll always be here to support it nonetheless. Rainmaker Mincemeat, I don't really know how you're supposed to play this map. I would keep it honest.
I have good news for you. I don't think anybody else knows either. We're all equally in the dark here.
Yeah, I mean, it's Mincemeat. Well, I genuinely what can I say, right?
Well, we've seen that these teams are relatively confident in their comps and playstyles, so I don't expect any switches coming out here. I hope that these teams have some modicum of experience playing on Mincemeat. It will definitely be an experience for them, but, these being CCA teams, I'm sure that they have at least encountered it in our past map list. It won't be a problem for them. Perhaps we will see a Rainmaker moment, though that will be, of course, more due to the mode than the map itself.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm thinking about it right now, and I can't even tell off the top of my head how many checkpoints or how many different, if this is a 2 checkpoint or if this is a 1 checkpoint.
I'm pretty sure it's just got the 1 checkpoint and the pedestal, but I am also I'm not very confident on that one either.
Okay. Thank you to the voice in my head. We can confirm there are in fact 2 checkpoints here.
Okay.
Where they are, I couldn't tell you, but we got that information at the least.
Well, when we get that map overhead of the stage at the beginning of the game, we'll see.
Yeah, but it's as we're eagerly waiting for these 2 teams to ready up to see exactly how they want to play this game number 3. I do want to make a reminder here, folks, that since this is our last qualifier here for this split and for this season, that once points get tallied up here, whoever is in the top 6 for points anyways, who hasn't already qualified, by the way, I want to make that a very clear caveat, because split 1, some teams that qualified for split 1 also play for this split, but because they already qualified, they won't actually take the spots. It will go to the spots of the 6 teams who actually haven't qualified, so don't worry about the math there if you're unsure about how that works. But top 6 teams from this split will be moving on to the playoffs later on in about a month actually ish of time, and then in 2 weeks from this weekend, we also have our LCQ, the Last Chance Qualifier, which teams who maybe were just barely on the edge there of qualifying, they can play in that run to try and get that, last chance to qualify.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot at stake here in our last qualifier.
It's a very enjoyable ride to see all these teams consistently play, consistently fight for these teams, and I've always been a fan of the circuit format, and so it brings out very interesting storylines and very interesting moments. Because I'm not sure if we talked about this or not, Cater, in the past, not here in the CCA, but during Split 1, the big team that people were scary for from Division 1 was Los Squiduras, and they got their 2 victories and they haven't been seen since.
Yes.
They got their points and they were like, all right, we're done here. You guys can fight out the rest of it your own. We'll see y'all in December, right? And it's stuff like that, because you have teams like who are following in a similar stead. They get their points and they are like, all right, we're good. We'll figure things out from later on. We qualified, we're good, right? But then you also have a few teams who have qualified who want to try and use this as a sort of pseudo practice to keep the engine hot, keep things in flow, in motion for when December comes. Because believe it or not, a month and a half, if you're not playing consistently, outside of the scrims, right, by the way, right, you can sort of get locked up, or not locked up, but kind of get cold from gameplay. So it's also important to keep things warm and warmed up. But yeah, it's a very interesting thing to see and witness.
Yeah, like you said, keeping the engine running, very important. Playing together consistently as a team, especially in that sort of collegiate tournament mindset, which I find that playing in this circuit is kind of has me in a little different mindset and thought process than playing in standalone tournaments, right? It's kind of a long game, kind of a marathon, with the NA League happening this fall and winter as well. It's kind of a similar thing. These we've seen teams show up and get their points and placements and then just not show up for the rest of them, or at least play the minimum that they need to. But in the weeks that they're not there, that opens the spots for other contenders to take those higher spots and get some more points. So very similar events that we've got going on here. Honestly, following CCA has made me realize why people follow regular sports. I'm not really a sports person. Before, I never really got the appeal of it, but kind of being able to follow like the growth of certain teams and people and the regions that they represent, and the spirit and the banter between these and the whole community behind it, it makes me understand why people are super into certain sports. Mine just happened to involve clams and squids and paint.
Yeah, I mean, the collegiate scene has always been something I've been shooting for to try and represent, because there's always just these amazing school lines and stories to be told from season to season. But with that being said, we're going to see exactly how this storyline is going to be ending here for this first round at the very least, as we see High Tide Secret Service. The only major change I can note off the top of my head is Secret Service going from the 10 attack shot to the V shot, and I don't know how much of a change that's going to be, and I'm going to be completely honest.
Well, that is from the strikes to the Zuka, which might be useful here in the context of Rainmaker, but we'll see how this is as line pops the Kraken here, looking for a member of Secret Service to jump down on, falling through the grates there. It is kind of funny to see Kraken on a great heavy map, or a map that has such large grates as this one. Members of Secret Service kind of clumped up on this right truck here, doing their best to spread out to get some more area control down, and we do have the shot with the Zuka as well. I assume that they will try and pop it soon and have some sort of target, but honestly, the mincemeat thought process is not something that I'm familiar with at all.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, we see it there. Green Yoshi finally ripping the cord off the Trizuka to get those first picks on the left-hand truck, but that push from Secret Service does go down rather quickly as High Tide backs up and gets ready to repel the push, and now they're going to be wants to try and re-engage here, see if they can keep Secret Service in check, as now they're going to be wants to pop the Rainmaker, going in with the Kraken, try to their space with the Rainmaker to get a potential duck here. Kraken, unfortunately, a little bit too slow there to save the Rainmaker carrier as they're forced to back up.
Pixelmon got a crucial pick right there, taking down the Java on that decav, the protector of the Rainmaker. Now popping this Tacticooler, the Rainmaker in a little bit of an awkward corner, but it's fine. As long as they can make it through all of the sub-spam, and it looks like they're letting the Rainmaker reset here, they will be just fine. Rainmaker resets back to mid. Secret Service has their full roster, as well as... Oh, there is also a swap to the Custom Blaster, so Ooze Dragon has that splashdown that we just saw get popped out there, and assist in that pick. Again, it's a battle of the blasters here, as we also still have that Winter Rapid Cooler option, but Ooze Dragon is going to opt to use this to camp the ledges over here. Very nice using that point sensor information. Green Yoshi here has that Zuka as well, so it's very likely that we'll see something coming out from Secret Service with that Reef Slider and Zuka combo.
Yeah, and both these two teams, especially at the ready, just trying to find the proper way, the proper timings to use them. But it seems that Lime came out on top with the Kraken, countering the Trizuka, and now Thunderbolts is coming in to try and scatter Secret Service on the incoming as High Tide picks up the Rainmaker, looking for this left gray, a bit more dangerous, but a bit faster on the point taken. We see the Custom Blaster goes in with the splashdown, gets that pick, and stops that push from the High Tide, forcing them to retreat and reposition at the very least, as the Rainmaker still in the hands of Lime, looking to try and see exactly where they want to try and move yet again, but still eyeing this left-hand checkpoint.
Still going for a Green Yoshi, unfortunately preventing that from happening. The jump goes in and is successful from Java, though. I do think it kind of looks like High Tide is just going to try and brute force this great area here on the left until they can get through it, but who knows how long that will take. Ooze Dragon goes down to Java there, and the Rainmaker, actually, they do not let it reset. Fenrir goes and picks it up. They have to wait for the suction bombs on the grates before they can go forward, trying to use that wall from Lime to make it to that checkpoint, but it looks like they've opted to switch gears and go for this right checkpoint instead. Not if the Numi's Reef Slider has anything to say about it. The chip contributing to that pick there.
Yeah, a nice quick pivot from High Tide to go the right route. Suddenly turned into a bad decision. The Secret Service came in with the Reef-Slider to immediately put that push to the Hall. And Green Yoshi now picking up the Rainmaker again was once again the Rainmaker just ripped out of their hands now, as both these two teams are desperately fighting over here on this right-hand side to try and get any sort of advantage, try and get any sort of proper leverage against the other Pixelmon, going in a bit too deep there against three, but Numi once again with the Reef Slider stops the push as they get a multi-kill, and now with 1 minute remaining Rainmaker in Secret Service position. They don't have a lot of points to try and close the lead, but it still might be a difficult thing to do.
Considering the way that, again, these teams have been in neutral this whole game, it might be difficult, like you said, but Nomi seems to be getting those Reef-Sliders at the exact correct times. Green Yoshi popping that Zuka. We do have one down, have to take down Lime. That is another threat on that checkpoint. Does get taken down. That is lead by 3 points. No checkpoint has fallen just yet, but it looks like it might with the picks from Numi there. Yoshi trying to get something done there, but does get taken out immediately after. Jump still coming in, but with Apollo consistently firing on that Rainmaker as well as Fenrir as well, that pop is going to go to High Tide with about 15 seconds left to turn the tide of this match, avoiding that suction bomb, going back out into mid. They are going to go for this right checkpoint again, and it looks like they might be able to... Oh, not if Pixelmon has anything to say about it, but they bubble! Absolutely huge bubble there! 3 seconds left, that is a break through the checkpoint, and no overtime will be awarded to Secret Service. So, the bubbler finally coming into play, not in the match that I said it would, but 2 matches later.
Oh, that really was a game-making play right there, as that bubbler really just... I got there eventually, as the bubbler saved their skins at the very end from that, preventing that Rainmaker from being dropped, and what was almost certainly going to be just a hell of a scramble there at the very end, before, as overtime was called, if it did go down. It's just, wow. This game showed just how close these two teams are in the midst of all this, but unfortunately for Secret Service, it is High Tide who comes out on top and moves on into the bracket.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen Pixelmon do a lot of those dive plays, especially on the last match onto that Rainmaker. And I think High Tide finally caught on and said, no, we have to guard the Rainmaker with everything we have, because as Pixelmon dropped, you can see multiple members decided to crossfire them. And that took them out before they could make it to the Rainmaker.
A good showing by these two teams, and now as High Tide moves on deeper into the bracket, so will we. Moving into round number 2, due to this being a game 3 on a best of 3, our second round is actually ready at this moment here as we're looking forward from this round. And now I do believe, if I know my information correctly, we will be seeing UConn Siberian Squids versus Coyotes Black, if the voices in my head can confirm or deny that real quick.
Yes, that is true. It looks like you are correct.
Oh, I love being smart in this.
I love being smart and prepared in my job, which means I should be smart and prepared for by looking at the stream chat.
Yes, but as I do this for a living, by the way. Don't question me. No. But yes, moving on. Round number 2, UConn Siberian Squids versus Coyotes Black. Division 2, I gets a little bit dicey about how well I know some of these teams or not. There's some names I recognize, there's some I don't. Just the nature of the game as well, considering as semesters go, teams and players inevitably rotate, so it's hard to keep track of who's who on a year-to-year basis. But nonetheless, this round anyway is gonna be started kicking things off on Zone Hagglefish Market.
Zone Hagglefish, indeed. Classic Zones map, no surprises here. I am personally a very big fan of this map, but that's because I play Headit, and so, that's to be expected.
Yeah, I mean, Hagglefish is really just... I don't want to say the baby darling, but I don't really know the best way to describe it, as just everyone loves this map for one reason or another, and it's... Well, I don't know, I can't tell you the exact specifics why. I have an idea that it just has something to do with just the general layout of the map and what can be done on this map.
I think so. You've got a very well-defined mid-area that is flat that also has cover, as well as those little side places for anchors or whoever to hop up on. You also have the 2 alleyways that are relatively accessible and visible from mid, so you don't have as huge of an issue of random jump scare flanks, but also they are, like, if fights happen down there, they are important to the game. They're not just some 1v1 happening while the timer ticks down, And then you've got the court areas and the plat areas and the ramps and the tents, and I just think it's got a great mix of, like, certain open areas, but also elevation that can be used and cover that can be used. Also, our streamer says, I like it because fish.
Yeah, I mean, if you like it because of fish, then I feel like you like 90% of this game regardless, and I mean...
Yeah, almost every map is named after a fish or something fish adjacent. I mean, Mahi Mahi, Mako, Hagglefish, you got Barnacle and Dime, pulling in maps from other games, you got Moray, you got Starfish, Anchovy, Mackerel, there's Flounder, Urchin Underpass. I think every single one of these maps is named after a sea creature of some sort. Arowana Mall, there's another fish. New Albacore Hotel. I could keep going, but please don't want me to, because that's Wellstring coming up from UConn. Very, very interesting there. I'd like to see that. We got the Headit as well, Headit represent, and then the V-Dualies with the Wave Breaker coming out from Coyotes Black, as well as that Stickers Stamper. Interesting to have both the Wellstring and the Headit on the side of UConn Siberian Squids, so it's likely that we're going to see that Headit playing a lot more aggressively, especially when they're cooler.
Yeah, I mean, with a double backline like that, you gotta be very mindful of your space there. But Coyotes Black's own Sticker Stamper trying to see if they can get a cheeky pick, a cheeky poke from under the ledge. But Alex coming in, immediately shutting that down, and they're now moving on to try and see who can they target next, especially picking up Tacticooler here. Touches are online for either side. We see Tacticooler on the other side come out from the Coyotes, as well as the Wave Breaker. It's an utter brawl here in mid, as both the teams fight for control here, but it's still a relative stalemate. But it looks like Siberian Squids might be able to get it out, but no, Coyotes still manages to recap it.
Ratless here from the Coyotes on that sticker stamper, getting a pick, popping that Booyah right in the bubble as well. Gets another. Now that they have been called out, they are going to target this Wellstring. Does get crossfired, but really nice distraction and placement there. Wellstring getting another pick. Not something that I necessarily expect in zones. I almost expected more in Rainmaker, but Poplo is making great use of it here, getting a hammer snipe. Very, very nice prediction of movement there. Going down to pick up that cooler, and Siberian Squids is looking gameplay-wise like they're in a great spot, but they haven't been able to get this zone back here. Finally, they do and are able to break past 90, but the members of Coyotes are still present and still firing on that zone. They need to step forward and take control of this court area if they want to have a prolonged push.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that UConn has had a few good moments on their side, but the Coyotes unfortunately just keep getting them shut down on the zone at the very least and not allowing them to extend too farther in terms of points, in terms of lead. And now, in a matter of seconds, Coyotes were able to flip that zone and put the pressure on UConn as they get a pick. Now trying to see how can they push UConn back further back, but they're still focusing on the zone. They're still trying to get things at least in the contention so they don't absolutely run away with those points. And now the penalty points are gone for the Coyotes. They're looking to try and extend their lead as best they can here.
Yeah, another hammer coming up from that Wellstring. Doesn't find anyone, though. Sticker Stamper is is down here, but again, this is what I'm talking about. Stepping forward in front of this zone, getting this court area. Alex taking out Alex, funnily enough, on those dualies there. Does go down to the Headit, who is taking a stand. Kilobyte here, coolered and unafraid, able to get those picks and looking for another on Ratless, forcing him to jump out, popping that cooler for their team as well. Siberian Squids is very much set up with the huge amount of paint, and now Alex is starting to make their way up that ramp area with the crab as well. They have to reckon with the Booyah, and the tactical are coming up from Coyotes Black. This is going to be possibly a huge counter push from Coyotes as they start making their way back out to mid. We'll see if it works out for them, which it looks like it doesn't as they lose two, able to get the Wavebreaker out, but still somehow getting paint on that zone.
Yeah, they're keeping the zone in contention at the very least, so UConn isn't just absolutely running away with points. And 3 down for UConn means that Coyotes are able to clean it up, get the zone, deal a decent chunk of penalty points to them, and now they're the ones trying to chip away at their penalty points. And what is virtually a delayed wipeout there on the side of UConn, Siberian Squids. The Coyotes are now looking to try and get them in a lockout scenario. Penalty points are almost gone at this point. They gotta be very careful. UConn has to be very mindful of their time they have left.
Well, they need to step forward, and they need to do it soon. It looks like that is what's happening. Getting one on that hammer snipe yet again. Poplo opting to take this angle from the left as well. A little bit more unexpected, drawing some attention their way, but we are in these single digits. We have Alex on that decaf painting the zone. The Wellstring as well. It does get flipped. A 51-point penalty applied to the Coyotes, giving Siberian Squids a little bit more room to breathe as Ratless is pushed back, and I believe... yes, we do have the last minute as they get pushed back into this left corner. Another hammer coming out from the Wellstring, going to get thrown again. Doesn't find anybody. It looks like Ratless is running Thermal Ink, I believe, because you can see the silhouette. It's either Thermal Ink or Haunt. It looks like Haunt. There it is. You can see the silhouettes of the enemies on their side. Not something that you see terribly often, and a lot of crossfire coming out on Alex there.
A cheeky fight there from Alex. It's not actually pulled out too well for them as Coyotes were able to quickly punch, clean up UConn, moving forward to get them pushed back further and further. And now with 3 down from UConn, Coyotes are now trying to get a lockout scenario here. 20 seconds remaining on the clock means all they gotta do is make sure that UConn just can't touch the zone here. They do have specials online. They have the Booyah Bomb here. They do have, I believe, the hammer from UConn to try and break the Booyah Bomb, but is it gonna be enough? I don't think so, as Siberian Squids just don't have the momentum, don't have the pushing power to get through the wall, and just like that, Coyotes Black takes this first game.
Yeah, though both of these teams were, they had great mechanical moments and team play. I think Coyotes Black just had the upper hand on stepping forward and having prolonged control of that zone and that court area in front of it.
Yeah, a good showing from both of these sides to try and see exactly who can come out on top. Coyotes Black really did a good job at the end there, recognizing exactly what the win condition should be. They don't want to overextend too far, against UConn and potentially lose 2 players, and you have 10 seconds remaining. UConn's coming in, and you got to make sure that zone's contested. No, they played it safe, they played it smart, and made sure that, and when that timer was called to 0, that all they needed to do was make sure that the zone wasn't on UConn's side. It doesn't matter if it was neutral, they just didn't have to be on UConn's name.
Right. And I want to draw a slight distinction here between, playing safe and backing up too far and giving up space. And I think that's very well illustrated by how the Sticker Stamper played at the end of that match, where they got Booyah with about 10 seconds remaining, and they were around that pillow, kind of where the elbow of the ramp is, right? They could have stayed there and camped the ramp, but that would have been a slightly risky position to be in, so instead they backed up a little bit, used their full range to keep on threatening that ramp instead of giving up the area, and then popped the Booyah to prevent the court area from being taken, which is much more preferable than backing up and giving up that whole court or ramp area, right? But I've analyzed for too long. Let's hop into our second match. Clam Blitz on Museum Delfonsino, and we do have a swap from the V Dualies to the N Parry Dualies, as well as, was that Frozen Pro there before? I don't recall.
I don't remember either, but I guess we'll see exactly what the lineup wants to do here anyways. Range is going to be a major part of the game here, as both of these two teams are at a very similar range. I think the only player who has a range advantage here is the Wellstring, returning from last game, but there is enough displacements from Coyotes to make that Wellstring's job a little bit harder here. And now quickly moving in, actually Coyotes are able to take control of the spinner from UConn's side, looking to try and get this first power plant open within the first minute of this game, but unfortunately this push is kind of falling apart there, and now they're forced to back up.
Yeah, unfortunately, Alex missing that clam, or not able to grab it on the opposite side of the spinner, and so despite the great positioning and survivability here, has to back up to behind this pillar, still having 7 clams. There, I think I was gonna say, I'm not sure if they're holding off on making a power clam, but they are able to pick one up and form it with 2 specials on the side of Siberian Squids. They are going to have to watch out, and the collection to make a power clam. This N Parry is tossing it to their teammates so that they can be a little more aggressive, holding on to this splashdown, looking for a good way to use it. Going to go down there. No picks, actually, from that splashdown, and finding themselves a little bit cornered there going down. Coyotes Black is gearing up for another push with a wave breaker in the same spot. Now they have the clams to prove it, though. The hammer going down as well. Alex on the decav, as well as Joseph dropping and getting those picks. We do go down to 65 with 3 remaining. Sunday having to run all the way back to mid away from Alex here, so we are not passing that 60 benchmark, but... Okay, we got a little sharking going on. We got a little hide and seek playing going on. these teams. Okay, Sunday able to get the pick on the decaf, but a little cheeky wall hiding there going on.
Yeah, sort of testing the patience of Sunday, see how long they're going to want to hold that there. And now we see the same thing happening again here with Joseph trying to play the waiting game before inevitably realizing it's not worth the wait and jumping back to regroup with their team. Now these players are back in mid. Booyah Bomb is being popped here. Categories online for UConn. And Alex looking to try to get that cancel that Booyah Bomb as soon as it's over, but goes down to 1-for-1 trade. And now both of these teams are still at a relatively even stalemate here. But UConn slowly winning the painting war here as they are slowly pushing Coyotes back bit by bit.
Bit by bit, indeed. That is a wipeout situation. The wave breaker not doing much when there's nobody to follow up on its shift damage. Alex having 7 clams, and Pope doesn't look like has any to spare, so they have to do this agonizing wait, getting 1 in, but those few seconds allow Coyotes Black to respawn and take out 3, and now the Wellstring is the only one left, opting to jump out to conserve that hammer there. That could have been much more devastating if UConn was able to find 1 more clam on their way up to the basket, but it looks like the clam spawns are not in favor of either team this match.
Yeah, I mean, it was just an unfortunate mistiming there for UConn there. But now, as we head into the next 2 minutes of this game, we're really seeing exactly how Coyotes wants to respond from that push from UConn here. They do have 2 power plants online. They're starting to get specials online as well to get UConn out of spinner here. They do have tactical online though, so any picks here isn't going to be that devastating as it normally would have been here. But UConn playing it really well here, playing around the spinner, playing around cutter, but 3 down from what? An auto bomb? That is a huge swing from Coyotes as they're looking to try to extend their lead even further here.
Absolutely huge kill streak from Rattless, playing the objective as well, getting 4 clams in, and also having this Booyah Bomb by some sort of miracle, keeping this basket open all the way down to 21. Rattless continuing on their rampage, getting 2 more clams. Here are the clam spawns that are in favor of the team. We are all the way down to 9 remaining, with Sunday trying to bring in those last couple. Unfortunately, with Rattless going down, it does look like that is the full end of the push. We do have Sunday getting crossfired as well, but that triple was absolutely massive. That kicked the door wide open for Coyotes Black, and I think, like you said, it was an auto bomb double as well as the single pick from the Stamper main weapon. So with 40 seconds left and 1 pity clam and counting, Siberian Squids has to try and bring this back, but still Rattless relentless on this sticker stamp.
Yeah, Rattless doing a very good job of making sure that UConn has no breathing room, no time to regroup, no time to play, as they're constantly applying pressure. Coyotes looking, trying to get this win condition there, just making sure that UConn is stuck so far into their side of the map that they're going to run out of time before they can get to the clan basket on Coyote side. And now Sunday backing up here to try to get ready to defend this incoming push here. We are going to see an overtime scenario here, as UConn does have a power climb on their side, but specials being used on either side to try and force this overtime, either in each of their favors here. 3 down for Coyotes Black means that they're going to potentially be able to see this go through, but no, a wipe on the last second. UConn's rushing to get the power climb to the basket, but unfortunately that was a miss. That's not what you want to see here, as Coyotes hold is too strong. 1 by 1 UConn falls, and 1 by 1 UConn will go home.
Oh, the Wellstring rushing towards the basket and being threatened. You don't have any time to aim when an enemy is right in front of you. Unfortunately, that power clamp did not connect, which, like you said, is not what you want to see in overtime. But that wipeout situation at the very end was huge. I just think it happened when UConn wasn't in a place to immediately capitalize on it, right? They had to take the time to get onto the plat and the spinner and up to the basket, and because of that tactical that got popped by the head in those last 10 seconds before overtime was triggered, the members of Coyotes Black were right there and ready to go.
Yeah. I mean, just to show just how powerful a tactical cooler can be, especially if using it with the proper timing. What was almost a devastating situation there for Coyotes didn't turn to much of anything, as they were able to secure the game there, just being able to keep UConn in place. And now 2-0 in favor of Coyotes. They will be the ones moving on into this bracket series, as UConn Siberian Squids unfortunately is going to be going home here.
Well, very, very great match that we saw for both of these, and Alex being on both sides, also very entertaining. I know we didn't get to see the rosters, but if you saw, we did have a moment where Alex splatted Alex, which I found very entertaining. With that incredible play from Atlas on the Stamper, we are going to head into a very quick break right now while we set up our next round. So don't go anywhere. Do stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Full steam through the setbacks. You can't win them all, but I'm proud I tried. I'm glad we had a dialogue. It's good to shape the mind. Speeding up the pace, turning up the heat. Where I need to be for the first time. Taking risks, I'm casting off without a lifeline. Break away, forget your sober case. Stop dwelling on empty words. Stop stalling in the doorway. And cancel the cruise control. Switching in the manual. Don't you wanna feel right again? Don't you wanna feel whole? Don't you wanna feel?
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Circuit Qualifier number 6, our last one of the season. If you're just joining us, I'm Cater, joined today by my wonderful co-commentator, Dark. How you doing?
I am eager because we now are in semifinals of this bracket here in Division 2, by the way. We are looking at CSULB Black, California State University Long Beach against UCF Knights Academy from the University of Central Florida. This is when things are really starting to heat up, especially, as you mentioned, final circuit qualifier here for the season. So this is the last chance for these players, for these teams to get these big points. And to kick things off as well, we're going to be looking at Rainmaker Undertow Spillway.
Rainmaker, indeed. Undertow Spillway, not a personal favorite of mine, but I can understand why other people like it. I just have something against this. I don't know. I think this map dislikes me, personally. And I think that it just is what it is.
Personal vendetta, Matt having personal vendetta on you is something I haven't heard of, but I guess...
Nothing goes right for me when I play this map, okay? Like... I get the worst matches on this map. Every other one is like, you know, if I'm having a good day, it's a good day. If I'm having a bad day, it's a bad day. This one just always seems like a bad day. But anyway, on UCF Knights Academy, I do know Elixir, fellow artist and such, so...
Tentinel? That's the name we have? Tentinel? That's the name?
Oh, no, okay, well, sorry, we're running Respawn Punisher on custom Wellstring with the name Tentinel. Is that how we're gonna go into this match?
Oh, this definitely is gonna be a match.
Great, I
just realized there's double NZAP too!
What?
What is CSULB cooking here? I mean, it's
Clearly
not working.
They're cooking Tentinel. Anyway, UCF Knights Academy is taking advantage of us being distracted to grab that first checkpoint here on the left and run towards the second as well. Apostolix are on this. That's a really nice Zipcaster pick on the brush. Zipcaster, really high skill floor to learn, and at least has the most impressive picks. The Rainmaker is going to reset back to mid, so we do just see the 60 check. I'm sorry, my rhythm has been completely thrown off by discovering Tentinel at the beginning of this match.
Only here at the CCA folks where you get a name like Tentinel and on the team running double NZAP. But I mean, I guess something's going on there because they managed.
Is it bad that I didn't clock the double NZAP until now? I know you said it, but I only heard NZAP, and I was like, yeah, I know there's an NZAP.
No.
I didn't realize there were 2 of them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess daisy chaining the tacticals is the name of the game here, and it's kind of working for them. They're actually able to get things back in some semblance of control here, completely wiping out UCF Knights here from this corner. You know, with the Rainmaker pop now, they might opt to reset it here, make sure that UCF Knights can't just come back out of nowhere, popping their own tactical here, the first of many, as the catcher comes in, goes down, immediately shut down. That's what a tough entrance.
Yes, indeed. Nuggy here on this sticker stamper, trying to get control of this left area, has to contend with the wave breaker waves here, but them and their teammate are going to... Oh, well, Jason is able to get the pick, and Nuggy is kind of looking, where do I put this Booyah Bomb? And unfortunately, it doesn't quite go too well for them. That Splash is going to be the only one left on UCF Knights Academy. Yes, there they go, gets a pick on them, and so CSULB is going to move forward very quickly to this first checkpoint. You can see, but 2 down there, and looks like they're not going to be able to get that checkpoint after all. Jason here popping that tactic cooler, waiting for a teammate to come back, and they're coolered. Of course they're coolered, we're running double NZAP.
And I mean, it's starting to work in their favor. They're able to keep this pressure going now that they're starting to kick off the daisy chain of the tactical here, being able to break that first checkpoint without too many issues here. And now they're already back in action once again, as the US Knights has a few respawn timers on their side, still clicking through, and they're able to take the lead here. Looking to try to close the game there, but no, taking down to 11 points remaining. That is a huge way to get things back under control here. And they're not stopping just yet. Can they just pick it up and run it down? No, they have 1 point remaining now. In order for UCF Knights to win this now, they need a tried and true knockout.
trying to knock this out, but unfortunately one of the zaps going down to the pop there, and Jason being the only one left getting taken out in the corner there. So 1 point remaining, but no dice. The game continues on, and UCF Knights Academy is given the opportunity to head this into a knockout if they are able to get this far in the last minute and 30 seconds. We've got the crab going. We have the Rainmaker trying to go up this ramp. Oh, 2 down! Incredible defense played there, and we've actually just got a 1v1 situation on the board right now, but the S-Blast does respawn there, not able to contend with the zap 1 of 2 here, popping the tacticaler and waiting for their teammates to come back.
Yeah, with 1 minute remaining now, Long Beach has actually everything in their advantage right now. They have 1 point remaining. They have decent control on their side of the map, trying to flush out UCF, and now it's gonna be a game of who can get the first picks going on first. Nuggy gets the booyah bomb here, shooting them from the Zipcaster, as the Zipcaster was immediately shut down there, but you see, Long Beach still has some semblance of control here. They don't actually need to play aggressively here. They just can absolutely play to time out UCF Knights and win this game here.
And they can do that with the huge amount of control provided by their 2 zaps, and the Wavebreaker as well gets the pick on the well string there, and UCF Knights Academy gearing up for something. They can see that is a nice pick on the recall of the Zipcaster. This S-Blast here setting up a path for their teammates, but it looks like their teammates not quite able to immediately follow that, having to struggle a little bit in mid. The well string is back here, and that AoE is going to be a problem as they get into this, but it might not be, as they get 2 down on the side of CSULB Black. USF Knights Academy, UCF trying to do everything they can, but unfortunately going down in the last 5 seconds, and you can see that zap there trying to get it no overtime as the Rainmaker went down too late into the game.
I mean, what can I say against a comp that runs double end zap? That's the first for me if I've ever seen it. I've been in the game for a good chunk of time now, and I think the only angle I could potentially see from running double end zap is the fact that one of your end zaps is going to be carrying the Rainmaker, so you will always have a tacticaler on deck at all times, and even without either of these, both of these ends up carrying the Rainmaker, you're still most likely to have a tacticaler on deck at all times.
Yeah, you can see one of the N-Zaps going forward, getting that double pick, absolutely crucial for the Rainmaker to be able to go up right underneath that pedestal, and they also got a pop after that, allowing them to take it to 1.
I just looked at that once again. I looked at this posting and I see the name Tentadol again, and it's just taking me aback.
It's really something.
As we're moving into game number 2 here, Robo Ramen zones, I need to ask Mr. Producer, I need to know the $1 million question. How many tacticalers was used in that last game? Because if it's anything less than like 10, what even is the point?
Right, you gotta be pumping out like 12, 13 coolers if you got 2 Zap Pains on there. Looks like the number is possibly 12. We're not entirely sure, but I think that is a fair number. Could be better. Do it. One of them wants to carry the Rainmaker. You pointed out yourself that one of them is going to be carrying the Rainmaker, and if they're carrying the Rainmaker, then they're not building cooler now or putting it out now, are they? So I think that a perfectly reasonable amount of coolers for 2 Zap mains to put out.
To be fair, I said the likely scenario is the Rainmaker was going to be carried by one of the head zaps.
Fair enough, fair enough. Well, we are going to leave Rainmaker behind and go to Splat Zones now. Robo Ramen.
Oh, do it again. Where's their Whimsy?
Well, I would posit that Paintbrush also has got Whimsy in it. Ninja Squid on 3 of those players, and what is that? Thermal Ink on the Jet. Yeah, I'd say there's a fair amount of whimsy in these players. We gotta switch to the pencil as well on the side of UCF Knights Academy. You can see that is working for them very well, able to kind of just camp out here and put out the quick coolers. Of course, a quick crab from this top glass here. Nothing out of the ordinary as an opening on Robo Ramen.
Yeah, both these two teams now fighting each other out to try and get that first ledge against each other, get themselves flushed out. CSULB gets the first picks here and is able to keep UCF backed up here. Booyah Bomb is ripped though to flush Long Beach out and does get one player, but I don't think that'll be enough here as Long Beach is still running with the points. They still have this roller sitting here at the entrance, at the incoming, and the Booyah Bomb once again were thrown in the zone, but it wasn't enough. Long Beach is still running away with these points.
Running away because there is no single concerted effort to paint the zone. It's just, you can see like the pencil is trying, but on their own they can't cap it. The crab is trying, but they're getting Zuka, and on their own they can't cap it. And so the points continue to tick away for CSULB Black. The roller in the bubble, absolutely deadly here, getting those picks on the pencil, and that is huge because that is their main source of paint. So much orange on this map right now, and an ink storm to rub everything in with that huge radius. Nuggy gets caught in it and is trying, but gets chipped damage. The Booyah Bomb again going onto the zone, losing control, but not a cap, and running away with that match. CSULB Black takes our set.
I mean, 2 games and a rather dominant showings from both games from Long Beach. They showed absolutely that they have a lot in them to run away with these games, to run away with the set. And now, looking at grand finals, they're definitely going to be eyeing to do the same exact as there.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see this is the very end of their push as they just have so much control on that map, and you can see the roller and the paintbrush just absolutely running wild on that top corner there, getting 2 between the 2 of them. I mean, despite the ninja squid, I don't know if we really saw that much sharking. I think those are just weapons that like to run around, and the choke point is also relatively small, so I don't know if the ninja squid was a huge factor so much as just the constant pressure of these high damage weapons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Robo Ramen definitely can tend to be a bit lockout heavy if you don't have the right specials or the right approach to try and break through a hold like that. So it's really hard to tell exactly if the Ninja Squid actually did factor into anything or not, but at the end of the day, Long Beach does come out on top with 2-0 against UCF Knights, but UCF Knights isn't actually going home just yet. We do have a third place placement that is going to be playing here in just a moment once our other side of the bracket gets finished up. And speaking of the other side of the bracket up, we are still waiting on them to finish out the set. So we'll be going on a quick break here as we wait things out, and we'll be right back with our grand final. So don't go anywhere just yet. We'll be right back. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. I was in between. My name's Dark. I'm here with Cater, and we're at the grand finals for Division 2. Katamahi Damacy versus, of course, California State University Long Beach Black.
Yep, we just saw CSULB Black in their semis match just a little bit earlier, and now they're going to go face-to-face with Katamahi Damacy, who won Div 2 the last two qualifiers that we had. So, they are trying to defend their champion's throne here against a new contender.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a very interesting and entertaining run, to say the least. Katamahi Damacy wanting to hold on to get that three-peat grand prize victory for Division 2. And of course, Long Beach wants to try and take away that from them and claim those sweet victory points. And then of course here, now since we're in grand finals, we're pivoting from a best of 3 to a best of 5. So there's more action, more gameplay to be seen here as both these two teams try to see exactly who comes out on top, especially with Tower Control Mako on the first one lineup.
Yes, indeed. Mako Tower, like you said, is where we are going to start this match. And we're going to hop right into it. No time for theorizing or anything. These teams want to put the pedal to the metal and get this thing going. Let's take a look at the comps that we've got coming out here. And we've got the Order Dualies, the Wiper, and is that... that's regular Slosher, I see? Yes, it is. All right. So that's got a strong kit there, as we all know. And then on the other side of CSULB Black, they are running what we did see them run before with that Paintbrush Roller combination.
Yeah, Long Beach very much comfortable with what they're running so far, and we can see Katamahi playing what most probably consider a more traditional meta quote-unquote comp on their side. So really this is going to be a game of what comes out on top in this situation. Does the standard tried and true come out on top, or does the unorthodox come out on top? And it looks like Long Beach is currently at the lead here, extending what they can, using this momentum, breaking through that first checkpoint with ease.
Yeah, the strike's coming out. They have to vacate that tower, but just hop right on as if nothing happened. Sentinel going down there to the pencil, though. The combination of that and Boo Boo as well here on the Slosher. Very, very strong on Mako Mart here, but Jason, having none of it, is going to use the fall off from that paintbrush to clean up there. We return back to mid, actually, in another neutral state. We do see the Dualies popping the crab from the side here. Does take out the roller as well. Meanwhile, Rosemaster having to contend with the Wellstring and not winning that match. 2 down on the side of Katamahi as Long Beach is just going to continue going back in. And we did have a... right, we are on the custom Wellstring, so this is no longer the hammer one. We just have that Wavebreaker chilling out on tower, but that is crossfire from 3 members of Katamahi going onto that tower.
Yeah, specials being used left and right from Long Beach to try and push past where they had already pushed past to the 63 points remaining on their side, and looking like they're looking trying to run away with some additional points on top. Unfortunately, Telenol goes down there, and Jason looking to see if they can get a pick or two before retreating or going down at the very least. Katamahi Damacy now in control of mid right here, looking to try to re-engage Long Beach as they are on the returnal here.
Yes, they are. 1 down on both sides right now. Make that 2 down on the side of Long Beach as the pencil takes that left stack there. Boo Boo camping these ledges, has these strikes at the ready as well. Could be absolutely huge here. Jason managing to sneak their way away from that interaction. Tactical are coming out. Katamahi could turn this into a big push for them, or they could if they didn't go 2 down. The strikes coming out just a little too late for that, but able to take at one of these zaps as well. Have to watch out for this Zuka from the paintbrush here. Ooh. Does get 1 pick, goes down themselves though, so that is 1 for 1 as Elixir. APOC, okay. APOC here has that bubble at the ready, is going to start that tower.
I can't help myself, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I was like, I don't know. I was on a roll, and then I went, oh, I actually don't know how to say that one. But, I just kind of ground to a halt there. Not really ideal. We do have a nice couple of picks. 3 down situation going down on in favor of Katamahi as Rosemaster comes to take this stack here, gets in a trade. That Tacticooler is being guarded now again by Coulson there on this Viper here, really effectively guarding these ledges, doing exactly what Viper does best, gets another pick and has that hammer at the ready. Meanwhile, that is going to be the checkpoint done for Katamahi as Coulson goes around trying to find someone on this hammer. Rosemaster kind of a little alone on this crab, but managing to make it work this way, asking for help from the teammates, takes the lead, and now the teammates heeding the call. Jason, though, hopping onto that tower, getting what looks to be a triple there on that paintbrush. The range, nothing to be underestimating there, as they have that Izuka as well.
Yeah, Izuka online here means that Long Beach can definitely try and get a huge push going here if they play that Zuka right. Tanano playing the mid line here to try and poke out anyone from Katamahi. Izuka is used here to try and shut down the pencil, which is crucial because it denies a tacticaler from Katamahi. But is it going to be enough at the end of the day? I can't tell for sure, as Katamahi is able to clean up those who are approaching from Long Beach and take control of the tower, with the lone player stuck in the corner for, I believe, getting picked out there. And now with 30 seconds remaining, Long Beach is a bit in a scattered state right now. The players are too spread out, as Katamahi, with that lead in their favor, can absolutely just stall it out here. They don't need to go on the aggression if they don't need to.
APOC wants somebody to come onto this stack so bad, but all they're getting is suction bombs, and I don't know how much longer waiting there is going to be worth it. Meanwhile, in the last bit of our game, Coulson here looking for a pick, doesn't get it, falls to Tentinel here, who is going to set up on this stack and try and get anything going for Jason, who's going to hop on that tower now, popping the wave breaker to get some information as they get on the tower, but the GG strikes are on there, but nobody is close enough to capitalize. Jason goes on, but a little too early, gets taken out. And there is somebody on Katamahi able to step on that tower and deny overtime.
Yeah, a good holding of strikes there just to secure the game on their sides. Katamahi Damacy takes this first game over Long Beach, and well, it was a bit of a rocky beginning there, slowly turned into something that they were more comfortable with, as they figured out what Long Beach was trying to do. And at the end there, you saw they had checkmate there. They had the win conditions right in their hand, and it was just a matter of just waiting for the conditions there and just ripping the strikes at the end.
Yeah, the GG strikes and tower overtime are really rough, especially if you have somebody right there to hop on. I was worried that they wouldn't have somebody reach in time and that Jason was going to be able to get back on the tower, but they did have somebody reach the tower in time to stop overtime.
A good opener from both of these two teams. It was a bit close, but Katamahi managed to top it here at the end of the day here for this first game. But now, moving to round number 2, we're going to be looking at Rainmaker Museum Dogfoncino. A bit of a different pace, specifically map-wise, but Rainmaker, we could very well see the return of the double zap from Long Beach.
We very well could. This map is a lot wider than Mako in the sense of where you're playing as well, but you also have the spinners creating kind of what feels like almost 2 levels of the map. You know, if that Rainmaker has the spinner in the right place, that they can just hop on over to that first checkpoint and it can be gone in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be something that both of these two teams will be very mindful of. A lot of points can be ran away so quickly if you're just not mindful of game presence and current game state. And so I genuinely do wonder if this double zap is going to come back, or if they want to try and stick with what they've been running with these past 3 games we've seen from Long Beach at the very least. I guess we're about to see here in just a moment what exactly these teams are bringing. Of course, Katamahi, Damacy, I didn't expect them to change. They are running a meta comp, and yep, there it is. Long Beach is back with their double zap.
Double zap indeed, and Ninja Squid on that zap. We also still are sticking to that respawn punisher on the well string, so no surprises here from what we've come to expect from these two teams. That first pop is going to go to Long Beach, but you can see Boo Boo very quick on that pick on Jason there, taking control with their teammate Viper of this right side of the map here. That is another zap down. We've got a crab there from the lower left-hand side as well, and that means with the tactical route, it's very likely that that Rainmaker is going to get picked up, and this is what I was talking about. If played correctly, that first checkpoint can be gone just like that, just over 30 seconds into the game.
Yeah, but the momentum's not stopping for Katamahi either. They're just going in forward and forward, getting pick after pick after pick. Long Beach is starting to get staggered here. Unfortunately, missing the pick on the Rainmaker there means that this could be absolutely punished with a buttload of points there going for Katamahi's favor here as Long Beach is scrambling to try and recover it. Apocalypse going in here to see if they can try and get a pick off of Katamahi, but it doesn't turn out they can get much of anything.
That must be crazy to be in APOC's shoes right now, because I swear that Rainmaker just phased through their Octobrush and just kind of, you know, walked on by like there was nothing the matter, as if a giant Octobrush wasn't slapping them in the face. But meanwhile, we did have a short 3-down situation there on Long Beach, which means that Katamahi is going to use this again to start getting even more points on the board, or they would result in a wipeout situation, as Long Beach knows what to expect by now, taking back control of mid, able to also even get immediately both zaps into this court area, get a lot of paint down. You can see that pedestal is totally painted for them. Jason gonna back up here, pop the cooler. They go down right before getting that checkpoint, though.
Yeah, it was a good move from Long Beach to quickly move forward and get their territory claimed for an incoming push for the Rainmaker, but it didn't pan out that well as Katamahi was able to get a good pick there to just convert things into a halt of that push. But a wipeout, though, and managing to pick up the Rainmaker right before it resets, though, is a huge swing for Long Beach as they're able to get that instant pop, and now moving in for Apocalypse, they're going in with the Zipcaster to cause a distraction. They're going to be able to take this lead in a matter of seconds. Now with a 9-point differential, Long Beach is currently at the lead.
Incredible play right there. The Zipcaster providing just enough distraction for that Rainmaker to surge forward and get that lead by, like you said, 9 points. We got the crab out here from Rosemaster, getting some more paint onto the plat area, targeting Tentinel here on that Wellstring, who has been playing a little bit more of the battle Wellstring. You can see them dropping into slightly more aggressive fights that they have been taking. Rose unfortunately going down there, but has some follow-up from Boo Boo on that Slosher as well. Has these strikes, which can be absolutely critical for a push to use as a smokescreen, as we have the Hammer surging forward, getting that pick. Apocalypse are somehow living through all of that and still lurking behind. These strikes could be very, very important, but the Rainmaker has to get on that flat area first. There they are, acting as a smokescreen. Jason coming around does get taken out, though, but the Rainmaker is now a little more alone, has to contend with this Wellstring here, gets stuck on the paint. Tentinel again playing that Wellstring, but that is a wipeout situation. We see a lead, but we see a lead by one singular point before that Rainmaker goes down, and we're not going to see any more follow-up with those dualies being the last one, so it is now another 1-point difference that carries us into this last minute and 30 here as the tides have turned, and now Long Beach is on the back foot.
Oh man, neck and neck. We see Apocalypse going in to try and club with Katamahi as Long Beach goes in, reclaims mid, reclaims his Rainmaker, but we see Damacy in here on the left-hand side with the Wiper trying to see if we can get a good flank here, and Long Beach is immediately shut down as too much attention is split too much across the map, and Katamahi is able to pick up the Rainmaker from behind and looking to try to run away with it here, but unfortunately gets shut down from the incoming players from Long Beach.
Yeah, trying to do a little sneaky run away with it, but those tacticalers are coming and clutch from the double zap, and so that does get shut down. It looks like, though, as we head into our last minute, that with the cooler, Katamahi is in a relatively okay position, though they do have to wait for their other two teammates to respawn. The Rainmaker resets, we are back at this almost neutral ground, but Katamahi is in control of a lot of mid and has these specials coming out as well. Boo Boo has those strikes, again, an absolutely huge tool to use. Gonna opt to go for picks instead, gets one, looking around this spinner, the Hammer coming out as well. That is a wipeout situation for the Long Beach, and with making the jump, this is going to be huge. There are the strikes coming out, the coolers are in clutch, they have to play this correctly. That is 3 down again. The Octobrush is the only one left alive, but the Rainmaker cannot die here. They get the pick, they move forward, but the Wellstring gets the paint on their feet. They lose the Rainmaker, but at 16, that is exactly what they need, and that is overtime, but a very, very difficult for overtime. This is going to be for Long Beach, getting this Sentinel, picking up the Rainmaker. I mean, they're going to have to play this one slow and steady, and they have 1 minute to do it.
Yeah, with now, at this point, 50 seconds remaining on the clock. They need to close the 5-point differential here. And an attempt at the live was shut down, though, to what I can only assume to be was a bomb there as Katamahi.
Yeah, bomb and torpedo chip damage from that Wiper.
Yeah, Katamahi narrowly squeezing by with this victory here. Currently now 2-0 against Long Beach, eyeing that third game for their clean 3-0 Grand Finals victories here in Split 2.
Yeah, looking at this replay here, this is where the lead swap happened. You could see the Pen carrying the Rainmaker and Colson there playing, get down, Mr. President, as the Wellstring almost got them the paint down necessary to stop them, but they just powered through it and got that lead swap.
I think the Wellspring dropping there was ultimately what cost them that game, because they put them in a very vulnerable position to get picked off by the Wiper and allow that Rainmaker to push up and get that lead swap in the first place. It genuinely, I guess he had a moment of mistake, right? You're trying to just really stop the push and it happens, right? But it was so fascinating to see you could pinpoint exactly what went wrong there and what caused that lead to swap and what just ultimately undid Long Beach's hold there.
Very, very unfortunate. Yeah, I think maybe even trying to another charge shot of the barbs in front of the Rainmaker where it was going might have tripped them up long enough for a teammate to come in or done even more chip damage or something like that. But I can, as an anchor player who has unfortunately thrown their body at pushes in a not great fashion, I completely empathize with you there.
Now we gotta just shake things off. Game number 3, match point for Katamahi Damacy here as we move into Barnacle and Dime splat zones here. Of course, Long Beach switching off from that double NZAP comp back to what they've been normally running with these past few games here, as Katamahi sticking with their tried and true.
Right and true indeed, and it looks to be working out as they've got the Zuka here, the Cooler, and the Rain all out in the first half minute of this match. Katamahi, though, has presence on this zone and is using these alleyways on the side to push, to push back Long Beach, so they do have to keep their wits about them. Colson doing exactly that, bringing out the hammer here, not quite getting the snipe though, and finding themselves alone, unable to come back from that 2 down on the side of Katamahi as Long Beach takes back this zone.
Now using the Rain and the Bubbler to push Katamahi back. They're looking to try and set themselves up to position, potentially lock it out, but 3 going down out of nowhere from Long Beach, where Tactical was online for one of them at the very least, but it's still not enough. Katamahi quickly moves in, takes control of the zone, and moving up 2 going in favor of Katamahi means that they can actually position themselves to try and set up potentially a lockout scenario here. But Jason going on the flank gets a successful pick there on the left-hand side, pulling Katamahi back at least a little bit, but the lead is swapped at the very end.
Yeah, that flank was called out immediately after, but like you said, one successful pick. We are seeing, picks from the Wiper there in that court area as well. Jason dropping down there, also going down. Elixir narrowly managing to escape somehow, but has to contend with the other members. Going to pop this bubble to have some sort of a place to fight from. Take this stack back as well, but that crab is a huge, huge threat as we reach 29 and counting. Elixir, APOC is going to take this side, but gets called out. That is the issue. The communication from Katamahi is just on point, calling out these flanks from Long Beach. We are in 10 points remaining, and we have these strikes as well. Another pick goes down, another 2 members left. The strikes to end the game and the set. Katamahi Damacy taking this 100-0 very cleanly.
What could have been Long Beach fighting tooth and nail from back-to-back games, unfortunately just falls apart at the end here, as Katamahi Damacy's dominance here was just too strong. Taking it 100-0 here on this match means that they are your Division 2 qualifier number 6 victory, as well as winning 3 back-to-back victories here in this second split. They are a dominant force here in Division 2.
Absolutely, that streak has got to feel so good to maintain. Like you said, 3 in a row is nothing to laugh at, and that is also definitely going to be great momentum to be carrying on through the rest of our league here for the rest of the CCA season. But of course, that 3-0 does not tell the whole story. Like you said, Long Beach did fight tooth and nail, and they had extremely close games, extremely good control for good portions of those last 2 matches that we saw, especially on that Rainmaker match.
Yeah, a good showing from both these two teams. I just want to give huge shout outs to Long Beach for doing what they did to at least make it this far. You know, you didn't take the gold, but you still take home a good amount of points and a good placement here. And even though there's still going to be some time before these points get actually finalized and calculated for everyone, a second place placement here, especially on qualifier number 6, is still something to be proud of at the very least. But folks, with that being said and done, that wraps it up for this qualifier 6 over here in the division here. Fortunately, our third place match is still ongoing, so we won't be able to update you on how that settles here on stream, but at the very least that's still going. And yeah, we're starting to close things out here. So Cater, anything else you want to say, add, or plug as we close things out?
You can find me down there at cater.inkling.social on Blue Sky, cater_ on Twitter, though I don't use it very much anymore. I do a lot of commentary. You can also find me on the Nintendo North American Splatoon 3 League, where I have some appearances on the stream and the show as well that comes out every Friday. So if you want more of me, check me out there. What about you?
You know, you can find me at SPF Dark at most social media websites, but more often than not, you most likely hear my voice time and time again across the multiple organizations we have here in the community, either here in the CCA, IPL, Down Productions. I am literally all over the map. But on top of all that,
I'm also part of the, I see you around,
Yeah, but on top of that as well, I am also one of the head TOs for Don't Flounder the Function and North Carolina LAN. Be on the lookout for that. Sign up for live here if you want to go to a LAN and on the East Coast in North Carolina. Please come. We always want more people to enjoy the Splatoon offline action. But with that being said, I do believe our sister stream over on Splatoon Tourney is still ongoing here. So if we, we will be rating over there at Splatoon Tourney Division 1 finals. It's still as exciting, if not going to be even more exciting. So stick around for that as we sign off here. So with that being said, goodbye everyone. Enjoy the rest of your nights and have a good one.